5.
Rotundas, brought to you tonight by Tim Hortons Premium Blend Coffee. Always 20 minutes fresh. James Reimer stopped all 74 shots in his last 2 games. And Devin Dubnyk makes his first ever start against the Maple Leafs, as is Reimer doing against Edmonton.
And the big story for the Edmonton Oilers, of course, coming in, Dave Gagne with an unbelievable night that he had. And the first star of the week, obviously, Gagne and James Reimer with back-to-back shutouts. He is right there as the third star, and they will meet tonight.
Fourth player the Leafs have had recognized as the star of the week this season. Referees are Rob Martell of Winnipeg, he's 48. Mark Jeanette of Verdun is 43. David Brisebois of Sudbury is joined by Tim Nowak of Buffalo as the linesman. And we get going with a puck up into the crowd.
Game 5. Here we go.
And Ron Wilson, although he loved his game and the way the team played against the Ottawa Senators on Saturday night, he thought the best performance perhaps of the year was the game in Pittsburgh, where they actually lost the game in the last 5 minutes. They were dominating throughout the contest.
I would probably agree with that as we get an icing charge here against the Maple Leafs, and it's back down into the Toronto zone.
Ralph Kruger is behind the bench. He will be the head coach tonight as Tom Winnie at a tough morning into the puck. Finished the practice in the morning skate and he's not behind the bench tonight. So we hope he's okay.
Petrie with a shot that's blocked. A rebound in front of the goal. Scores!
And get a tough morning into the puck behind the bench. He will be the head coach tonight as Petrie again and he's not behind the bench tonight. So we hope he's okay.
Petrie with a shot that's blocked. A rebound in front of the goal. Scores! Jordan Eberle gets the lead for the Oilers on top.
We'll go with it. One win.
And probably they just shorten it. Hall is turning around, throwing it towards the net. The Oilers get a break.
Horkoff drops it back quickly, tickles it around back of the net. Reimer got tangled up a bit as it comes to the blue line. A shot right on, there's a rebound, and it's cleared into the corner. And the Oilers have started quickly, and the Leafs have started a little bit in neutral. Horkoff with the ball, get in on the line, but Franson took it away from him. And the puck comes to the near side. Joined by Tim Nowak of Buffalo as the linesman. And we get going with the Oilers. Puck comes into the crowd.
Let's look at the goaltenders. Brought to you by Ford's Northland Ford. And Nikolai Habibulin gets the start. He is a very active goaltender. He's been with the Tampa Bay Lightning years ago. And trying to get back to that form. Speaking of good form, Nicholas Backstrom has it this season. It's just hard not to play him right now.
The puck comes to the ball. High.
3 minutes, 6 seconds of play.
John Michael locked in. Here's a chance for Joffrey Lupul, and he ripped it high over top of the goal. Good play by Shane to keep it in with a bouncing puck. A hit there, but Lupul comes away with the loose puck. Lupul working back towards the blue line, sends it towards the net. Kessel unable to get to it. Conley is stationed back to the goal. Kessel unable to get it away, and it is poked free by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and now it'll be brought to center ice. The right wing side and in for Smith.
Gagne, if you can imagine, with another point, we're going to show it to you in a moment, but when things go well, they really go well. We'll show you why in a few seconds.
Here's Gardner getting it ahead. He had just 4 assists in his previous 9 games.
In the Stanley Cup.
Now he is on fire. Now here's Kraft coming to the net. Kraft still with it. Trying to center it out in front. And it backhanded to the line, but not out. Franson's shot is right on. There's a rebound, but it's smothered by Devin Dubnyk and held for a faceoff.
Well, we're going to show you.
Left wing side gets it out at center, and here's Gagne across the line. Gagne into the corner, and Gunnarsson took it away from him and put up. Almost gave the puck away there, and now it is Armstrong rolling into the blue line. Stolen, Steffel to the line, he's in a goal! Dubnyk with a big save with the left hand. Armstrong being hooked onto, gives the puck.
New notification from BLEs.co.in. Someone has connected to your PC IP 8.
Away there to Everly. He drops for Hall, who couldn't get a shot away. Hall taken to the boards, and now it is Whitney with it. To the near side, it comes to Porter. Porter trying to play it along the boards, can't find an open man, but Everly frees it up. Hall couldn't get away in the territory. Nikolai Kuhlman going to launch it down into Edmonton territory. An early goal here by the Oilers has ended the shutout streak for the Maple Leafs.
Remember, this Oiler team coming off wins against Detroit and give away a little.
As Malkin scored with 7 seconds left in the game in Pittsburgh, and Edmonton scores 21 seconds into this match. The team shutout streak didn't last long, and Reinhardt didn't either. Round back to the net now for Luke Schenn. Everly has 5 goals in his last 4 games. Never mind how hot Gagne is. Here's Kessel in across the line. Kessel going wide. Couldn't get the shot off with Barker in the way. Barker takes the puck from him and puts it down into the Toronto zone. Ranson going back around behind the Toronto goal. Plays it up on the left wing. Brought on by Bozak. Bozak taken wide, but Lupo onto the puck. Lupo had it knocked off his stick, but recovers. Now having difficulties with it. Makes a nice move to Hensky. Got it into the slot area, but Lyles couldn't finish with a shot on goal. Brought back now by Everly, and a shot by Hensky goes over top of the goal. Rebound on the near side, fed to center ice. Put it back into neutral ice. Backhanded by the Leafs in over the line for Kessel. Kessel wide, trying to find Bozak going through the middle, and it's intercepted and brought back by Nugent Hopkins. In over the line, a drop pass now. Hensky rather with a shot. That's blocked. It comes back to the blue line. Kept alive there by Speed. Speed had it blocked, but it comes to the point. Hensky's shot is also blocked. Maintained by Edmonton. Ladislav Speed into the corner and around back to the net. It goes for Ben Eager. Eager trying to find Petrie. It goes back along the boards. It comes to the blue line with a long shot that is smothered by Reimer.
What nice play here.
The cans are brought to you by long shot. Slavs is smothered by Reimer. And there'll be a face-off coming in the Toronto zone. Tonight's HD net cams are brought to you by LASIK MD, providing you with 20/20 view of all the action.
Edmonton Oilers with 3 puck handling defensemen out. The last little while, Tom Gilbert, Ryan Whitney, and Cam Barker, who makes a real nice play here on Phil Kessel. All with ankle injuries, if you can imagine. Incredible. That's really hurt the Oilers. They're getting the puck up.
Smothered by Reimer. And there'll be a face-off coming in the Toronto zone.
We'll step away for just a moment.
Tonight's HD net cams.
Point of the hockey game, Oilers lead 1-0 here in downtown St. Paul. Time for our Sanford Health injury report. The face of the National Hockey League is number 87 for the Penguins, Sidney Crosby. He's been cleared for full contact as of today. He last played on January 5th of 2011. He was concussed at that point. Crosby and the Penguins in town Tuesday. There's a slight chance he'll be in the lineup. His teammate Evgeny Malkin, who's also missed some time this year, is playing tonight and will likely play Tuesday against the Wild. It's a tough skip.
The Edmonton Oilers with 3 puck handling defense.
The boards, it comes to the blue line with a long shot that is smothered by Reimer. There'll be a face-off coming. Matt Cullen scored 12 goals last year. 7 of them were even strength. He already has 3 even strength goals this season. And Matt Cullen definitely having the kind of start that he wanted. Look at that, pick up a loose puck. He's got Stoner over there, which isn't to say he won't pass it to him, but he has a better angle. And why not take it? That was a beautiful wrist shot. Lawton Dress was coming in on the play, and by Lawton Dress driving into the zone, it keeps Gilbert honest. Gilbert can't just attack Matt Cullen. So by Stoner and Lawton Dress,
And Cam Barker
used by Reimer. And there'll be a face-off coming in the Toronto zone. Tonight's HD net cams are brought to you by LASIK MD, providing you with 20/20 view of all the action.
Edmonton Oilers with 3 puck handling defensemen out. The last little while, Tom Gilbert, Ryan Whitney, and Cam Barker, who makes a real nice play here on Phil Kessel. All with ankle injuries, if you can imagine, of different kinds. But incredible. That's really hurt the
long shot that is smothered by Reimer.
Milton makes another save.
In the
the Oilers did not have an easy time getting out of the zone and eventually iced the puck because of it.
Well, join Ron Gardenhire.
The Edmonton Oilers with 3 puck-handling defensemen out the last little while. Tom Gilbert, Ryan Whitley, and Cam Barker, who makes a real nice play here on Phil Kessel. All with ankle a bit down into the Toronto end. He was there again. Gagne, left wing, and then deposited it down into the Toronto end. Gagne, and it knocked away, it comes up onto the wing. The Leafs don't get it out past Potter at the point. Long shot is deflected in front of the net. Gagne was there again. Cleared to the line and out. Fired right back in again by Edmonton. Approaching 6 minutes played in the first period. 1-0 Oilers.
It was scoreless.
Lombardi slips it down into Edmonton territory. Dubnyk played it around on the board, but it's cut off by the Leafs. Unable to keep it in. Gardner. Here the Oilers through center. Into the slot. Oh, good save made there on Ryan Jones as the left pad of Reimer snapped out there. Oilers with it again. Belanger on the wing to Jones, dropping it back. A long shot is blocked off the stick, and it comes to the far side. Now back to the blue line once more. Trying to keep the puck in. The Oilers do. It comes back into the slot. Dished off onto the left wing side, and a wrist shot is off the blocking glove of Reimer, and it'll be brought in. Played to the line and in. Gilbert trying to take his man to the boards, can't do it. And it's around back to the net now for Belanger. Played to the line and out in the Leafs regrouping. Played right back down into Edmonton territory. This is wide of the goal, though. It's going to end up being an icing call.
Now, my good friend Doug McLean, you know, we have a bit of a thing going back and forth, and he's helping me out this time. Thank you, Mr. McLean. I think I called Sam Dave.
It can happen.
And I played against Dave for so long, I knew that perhaps I might do that, and how can you do that with a guy that's been the hottest guy in the National Hockey League? So thank you, Doug McLean, and my apologies.
Yeah, Dave thanks you as well.
Yeah, he'd love to get that many points in the game.
Played right back down into Edmonton territory. This is wide of the goal, though. It's going to end up being an icing call. That is up to take Edmonton territory. This is really going to end up being an icing call.
Now, my good friend Doug McLean, you know, we have a bit of a thing going back. He's helping me out this time. Thank you, Mr. McLean. I think that's Sam Dave. And the Irishman. I played against Dave for so long, I knew that perhaps I might do that. How can you do that with a goal from the hottest guy in the National Hockey League? So thank you. The points of the game. And
well, he's been involved in the 12 of the last 13 Oiler goals.
And Doug McLean, the next time you make a mistake, and it happens, I know that I listen to you. Believe me, I'll be texting you to help you out.
Icing charge here against the Leafs, and it'll be brought back into the Toronto zone.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada.
Well, the hottest player ever.
Team coming off wins against Detroit and Chicago. They've been playing very, very well, and they're now healthy.
This period, now's the best time to get behind the wheel of a Toyota and drive home a deal.
And Stecco with the best leap chance so far early here in this hockey game. Another broken play and a giveaway, a little miscue there.
Comes to the blue line with a long shot that is smothered by Reimer.
It was a delay of game.
And there'll be a face-off.
Toronto.
Ryan Newt comes with a long shot that is smothered by Reimer. And the... There'll be a face-off coming in the Toronto zone. You with 20/20 view of all the action.
The Edmonton Oilers with 3 puck-handling defensemen out the last little while. Tom Gilbert, Ryan Whitley, and Cam Barker, who makes a real nice play here on the Phil Kessel.
Indeed, Brian, you with the 20/20 view of all the action.
Can't do that against the Oilers. Here's the opening face-off. Much said about Nugent Hopkins' inability to win draws. He rips the first one away from Cody Hodgson, and then Patrick Ballard hit check. But if he goes a little too low, gets him in hot water. But a perfectly executed one down the right wing boards there.
Maintained by Edmonton. Vladislav Speed into the corner and around to the net. It goes for Benny. But it's back into difficulties thing. Right goal. The net cams are brought to you by LASIK MD. Providing you with
Down the right wing boards there. Water, but that patented Ballard hip check. But if he goes a little too low, gets him in hot water. But a perfectly executed one down the right wing boards there. If he goes a little too low, gets him in hot water. But a perfectly executed one.
Cam Barker, who makes a real nice defenseman out the last little while. Todd Gilbert, Ryan Whitley, and Cam Barker, who makes a real nice play here on Phil Kessel. All with ankle injuries.
with 2020 view of all the action coming into Toronto zone. Tonight's HD net cams are brought to you by LASIK MD, providing you with 2020 view of all the action.
Edmonton Oilers with
2020 view of all the action.
Edmonton Oilers with the
face-off coming here tonight with a great opening face-off way.
Patented Ballard hip check. But if he goes a little too low, gets him in hot water. But a perfectly executed one down the right wing boards there.
Yeah, I got a penalty for that. That's destroyed. And the opposition mentioned was 320. The face-off coming here tonight with a great opening face-off way.
Attack. Smith and Luongo with a word to one another in the tail end of all that. Twice they were able to challenge Luongo from sharp angles.
Cams are brought to you by LASIK MD, providing you with 2020 view of all the action.
On a little spin around the frame play.
Shot.
Here's Smith, one of the best from that position to the front of the net. Or tipping
Cams are
pucks in
brought to you
front.
by LASIK MD, providing you with 2020 HD. There'll be a face-off coming in the Toronto zone.
What the Canucks would like to do,
HD net cams are brought to you by LASIK MD, providing you with 2020 view of all the action.
Edmonton Oilers with
one of the best from that position to the front of the net, or tipping pucks in front.
Tonight's HD net cams are brought to you by LASIK MD, providing you with 2020 view of all the action.
What the Canucks would like to do, you got to think they want to play a solid team game where they force this young Oilers team into mistakes and then feast on those. And for that position, this one, on the little spin around the cram play, here's Smith, one of the best from that position to the front of the net, or tipping pucks in front. Couldn't lose Luongo on it. And the first bid looked like it was more problematic than this one on the little spin around the cram play. Here's Smith, one of the best from that position to the front of the net, or tipping pucks in front. Couldn't lose Luongo on it. Been a good start, I think, from what the Canucks would like to do. You got to think they want to play a solid team game where they force this young Oilers team into mistakes and then feast on Luongo from sharp angles. And the first
with 2020 view of all the action.
Samuelson and the Oilers going on the power play as we join Scott.
Oiler coach Tim Rennie wants to give friends the opinion this summer. Doug Digger Davis is survived by his wife Carmen, children Jordan and Laura. Tom's wearing a tie tonight of Doug's that Carmen sent him for his good luck. Thoughts and prayers for all of us.
Makes a real nice play here on Phil Kessel. All with ankle injuries.
Tonight's HD net cams are brought to you by LASIK MD, providing you with 2020 view of all the action.
some sloppiness in that area of the game as well.
There'll be a face-off coming in the Toronto zone. Tonight's HD net cams are brought to you by LASIK MD, providing you with 2020 view of all the action.
Some sloppiness in that area of the game as well. Here's the latest. As Theo Peckham was trying to keep a puck up at center ice, Samuelson in the box, and it's been productive on the power plays. Some sloppiness in that area of the game as well. Here's the latest. As Theo Peckham was trying to keep a puck up at center ice, Samuelson some sloppiness in that area of the game as well. Here's the latest. as Theo Peckham was trying to keep a puck up at center ice. Samuelson in the box, and it's been productive on the power plays for both teams. Here's the latest. As Theo Peckham was trying to keep a puck up at center ice, Samuelson in the box, and it's been productive on the power plays for both teams here tonight.
Oilers 1 for 3 on the power play tonight. Vancouver.
Yeah, they're
all with ankle injuries. If you can imagine the box score tripping. That's the penalty. That's really the Oilers taken in what, 4.5 games. And the Oilers going on the power play as we join Scott.
Oilers coach Tom Rennie lost to the Junior this summer. Doug Digger Davis was survived by his wife, Penny defenseman out the last little while. Tom Gilbert, Ryan Whitney, tonight.
And Barker, who makes a real nice play here on Phil Kessel. All with ankle injuries. If you can imagine all the action. Edmonton Oilers with three puck-handling defensemen out the last little while. Tom Gilbert, Ryan Whitney, and Cam Barker, who makes a real nice play here on Phil Kessel. All placing indeed, providing you with a 20/20 view of all the action. Edmonton Oilers with three puck-handling defensemen out the last little while. Tom Gilbert, Ryan Whitney, and Cam Barker, who makes a real nice play here on Phil Kessel. All with ankle injuries.
Well, the hottest player ever in one game is going to celebrate an anniversary tomorrow. Darryl Zipper's 10-point night. February 7th, 1976. Onside coming here at the Toronto Blue Line. The Oilers on a goal by Everett have a 1-0 lead over Toronto.
Games, and they really start off very well in this hockey game. Reimers had all kinds of traffic in front of him. There's a terrific left pad save on Jones moments ago. And the Oilers have had 2 or 3 more quality chances. Of course, they're already up 1-0, and they've outshot the Maple Leafs 7-2 already.
The only goal ever lead from Gagne and Hall, 21 seconds into this game. And the draw knocked down into the Toronto zone, and Carl Gunnarsson reverses the puck there for Kuhlman. The only goal ever lead from Gagne and Hall, 21 seconds into this game. And the draw knocked down into the Toronto zone, and Carl Gunnarsson reverses the puck there for Kuhlman. Off the boards for Clark McCarthy. He is unable to handle it. Kuhlman got it towards the line, but not out. Now does. And it's McCarthy at center, playing it in over the line for Grabowski. Kuhlman to the front of the net. Oh, and he made contact. Now a backhand by Grabowski is smothered by Dubnyk. Kuhlman, I think, made contact with that because he knocked it wide of the net.
Well, this is something that's been lacking from the Leafs game so far, the transition with speed so far tonight. And here it comes, and I think Dubnyk did get right across. No, he missed the net on the first chance, but certainly gets there on the wraparound attempt by Grabowski. And the tip by Kuhlman, that's the way the season has been going for him, as he misses the net, and he was wide open.
Grabowski, Kuhlman to the front of the net. Oh, and he made contact. By Dubnyk.
Here's the last chance. Again, they've been so quick, these kids, to rotate it from deep in the zone to a scoring area. It was more about all. Leaping pass Ballard, second hip check from Ballard here tonight.
Kuhlman, I think, made contact with that because he knocked. Oh, he made contact. Now a backhand by Grabowski is smothered by Dubnyk.
Well, this is something that's been lacking from the Leafs game.
Well, you can see this young Oiler team at times overthink things in their own. It's too difficult to play when you're thinking and not just doing. And you can see individuals from Petrell and the defenseman Gilbert ended up standing next to one another and looking at one another and trying to figure out what's right in the slot area. They both end up in the slot area, looking at one another, covering each other. Not a Canuck.
good for you, Alphonse.
It's not a bad thing to go to home base in the slot, work from there.
NHL October defeat slider. NHL October defeat side button. See slider. YouTube video clip.
It doesn't get Potter dropping it back into his own zone. Here's Smith. Broken up there by the Leafs, and here's Clark MacArthur in over the line. Clark MacArthur with a shot, and that was stopped. The rebound comes in front of the goal. They score! Broken there by the Leafs, and here's Clark MacArthur in over the line. Clark MacArthur with a shot, and that was stopped. The rebound it back into his own zone. Here's Smith. Broken up there by the Leafs, and here's Clark MacArthur in over the line. Clark MacArthur shot, and that Potter dropping.
Financial advice.
And back to the point. Gilbert holds, gets the shot away, and was going wide. It was blocked by the line. It will be held.
From RBC. If you're making a difference for hockey, we'd like to help. Apply for an RBC Play Hockey grant today, and you could receive funding and financial advice for hockey in your community.
The key for the Leafs here is to get right after the Edmonton Oilers defense. They have some terrific young forwards, Edmonton. Their defense is still a work in progress. And you just saw what can happen when you get right after an Oilers defense and create some giveaways. You see the big goal here in the Oilers defense and create some giveaways. You see them come up with a big goal here in this period to tie the game up.
Between MacArthur and Grabowski, they've had 18 points in the last 6 games. So, and Kessel and Lupo, here's a chance in front of the glove save. Oh, a dandy made by Reimer's left hand. Kessel and Lupo cooled off. Grabowski, Quilliman, and MacArthur caught fire. And doing it at home is something that they're not used to doing. They have great numbers on the road, but MacArthur just getting his 4th goal on home ice this year of the 17 he scored. Reimer with a great glove save there. Clark MacArthur tied the game at 1 to the 17th. Grabowski and Kessel drawing assists as the change of players is en route. And Lupo, here's a chance in front of the glove save. Oh, dandy made by Reimer's the save.
Well, you can see this young Oilers team at times overthink things in their own. It's too difficult to play when you're thinking and not just doing. And you can see individuals, Petrell and the defenseman Gilbert ended up standing next to one another and looking at one another and trying to figure out what's right in the slot area. They both end up in the slot area. They're looking at one another and they're covering each other. Not a Canuck.
But after you, Alphonse.
It's not a bad thing to just go to home base in the slot and work from.
Change. 16th Grabowski and Kevin finally gets it out at center. Lombardi nudged off the disc and goes around on the boards and comes to the line but not out. Cody Franson across ice feed for Lyles. Lyles into the slot area for Crabbe. Crabbe diligently working back of the net. Being grabbed on there by Speed. Cycles it back behind the goal and finally is in pursuit. Here's Crabbe cutting it off. Against the boards it is Petrell who can't get away. Now Franson knocks it down. And the shot. And a pass save made there by Dubnyk. Pass into the slot is broken up and played to center ice. Lyles chases it down. Franson. A rink-wide feed deflected in over the line. But it'll be regrouped now by Corey Potter and brought down into the Toronto zone. Around back to the net for Toronto. Fans on the pass. Here's a chance for Eberle. Going to the net, a shot blocked. And Brown got it into the near corner. Long shot out the side of the goal. Into the corner goes Sam Gagner. Gagner loses it. Steckel gets it out into the center ice area. Eli Canuck has had a couple of hiccups here in the first 10 minutes.
A difficult first period for sure.
Oilers back in their own zone. Whitney gets it ahead at center. There's Alashensky in over the line. A nifty little move there, but couldn't get around Canuck without having it deflected wide. Steckel gets it to ground and finds Armstrong. Armstrong trying to weave around the defense. Trying to get around Cam Barker once more. Into the corner now for Steckel in front of the net for Coleman, who was off the bench. Thrown off the heel of his stick and down the ice. Gardner sends a rink-wide pass that eludes Clark MacArthur. Shen, as the Oilers are taking this opportunity to change. Up on the left wing it comes to MacArthur. Back to Shen. And Luke Shen will give it off to Jake Gardner, who has a little problem with it there. And we whip it around back to the net. Shen, a lead pass trying to spring Kuhlman that didn't work. Off the boards to the line and tipped into the Toronto zone by Ryan Jones. The Chatham native. And it is smothered at the side of the goal by Reimer. It is a 1-1 tie. 33 to go in the first.
And these two combined have been absolutely unbelievable along with Clark MacArthur ever since. And here's a sample of the goals the last couple of weeks. And there's the final goal. 8:33 to go in the first period.
On the road, Mikhail Grabowski is plus 13, third best in the National Hockey League, and Clark MacArthur is fourth at plus 11. At home in the Hockey League, and Clark MacArthur is fourth at plus 11. At home, they've struggled, but now they're heating up here in the ACC.
That's a real problem for the opposition. Most teams have just
a chance in front of the glove save. Oh, and dandy made by Reimer's left hand. Kessel and Lupo pulled off. Grabowski, Kuhlman, and MacArthur caught fire. And doing it at home is something that they're not used to doing. They have great numbers on the road, but MacArthur just getting his fourth goal on home ice this year of the 17 he scored. Reimer with a great glove save there. Clark MacArthur goes around to the net. To the bench.
18 minutes, 19 minutes, 11 seconds of 1 hour's work.
And who do you shut down?
Swept around the boards and Lupo steer it out and down the ice in a race for it. Kessel's going to get there ahead of Ladislav's speed. Centered in front and getting the shot away with Bozak, but it went wide. Lupo working around back of the net. Hustles into the corner with it. Looks to cycle it. Gets it back to the point of Lyles. Back to Lupo. And he had it stripped away there by Ryan Jones. Jones gets it out. Lyles fed it right back into the crowd, and the Oilers, with 7:50 to go in the first period, are organizing around their blue line, and Jones will leave it there as he peels to the bench.
Edmonton 0.
He's changing.
0.
Flipped into the Oiler bench. Play will be whistled down, and it'll be a face-off back in Edmonton territory.
Cody Branson, I talked to him this morning a little bit about this quick release that he has. He does such a nice job getting pucks through. Well, his father worked at the rink in Sycamores, his hometown, and he used to go to the rink all the time, and he told me that it was my dad's favorite shots. He taught me early to snap the puck towards net as many times as I could as a youngster, and then he said once he got to junior, he started to then change the angle and work very hard at making sure pucks got through. So again, you talk to these athletes.
It's flipped into the Oiler bench.
The save! Brendan Dubnyk!
Face-off back at the 50 to speed by Taylor Hall as he intercepted that stretch pass from Earl.
Late in that, a little bit about this quick release that he has. He does such a nice job getting pucks through.
Out of his own
father worked at the cornerback that couldn't see the puck. His father worked at the rink in Sycamores, his hometown. He used to go to the rink all the time, and he told me that it was my dad's favorite in Sycamores, his home pucks through. Puck towards net as many times as I could as a youngster, and then he said once he got to junior, he started to change the angle and work very hard at making sure pucks got through. Snapped the puck there by and told me that it was my dad's favorite shots. He was hockey getting pucks down. He used to go to the rink all the time and scrambly shift for both teams. Told me that it was my dad's favorite shots. He taught me early to snap the puck towards net as many times as I could as a youngster, and then his hometown. He used to go to the rink all the time and told me that it was my dad's favorite shots. He taught me early pucks through.
A scoring chance off of a gift pass like that, and again, Luongo has been very sharp in the opening period to the rescue.
Well, his father worked at the
his own zone
in Sycamores, his hometown.
He's like a quarterback couldn't see the coverage. The speed of Hall's going to generate a scoring chance off of a gift pass like that, and again, Luongo has been very sharp here in the opening period to the rescue.
Well, his father worked at the Well, Cody France and I
YouTube video
spoke
player.
a little bit about this quick release that he has. He does such a nice job getting pucks through. Well, his father,
Nope, 20 minutes 35. 20 minutes 40.
these athletes, and so often, and then he said, well, that's why they're good at it.
20 minutes 40.
Centering pass by Conley went off the side of the goal.
40 minutes 50
But the Oilers bench whistle down, and it'll be a face-off back in Edmonton territory.
35 volume.
Cody goals, one on power plays. This morning, a little bit about this quick release that he has. He does such a nice job getting pucks through.
Sandy Shallow, a power play goal, scoring on Vancouver's only power play of that first period.
This morning, a
YouTube
little
video
bit
player.
about this
New
quick
notification from
release that he has.
Coffee.ca.in. The circle can print the virus alert. Fast forward button.
His father worked at the
Possible board short okay button.
one lead for the Oilers. This morning, a little bit about this quick release that he has. He does such a nice job getting
power play of
Seat
that
slider. 20 minutes 43 seconds.
That's the way the connection. Getting there by Lombardi. He could have got a shot away, but it's going to be deflected up into the screen and out of play.
New notification from Coffee.ca.in. Print the virus alert. Here's the stand.
having such a terrific year once again.
Look at the statistics there.
Yeah, and he's had some injuries as well, only 4 points short of last season's production.
He attended the Heritage Classic back in 2003 as an 8-year-old. I said, what do you remember? He said it was cold and everybody was drinking beer. He couldn't understand it.
Including him?
I don't think so.
Centering pass, shot there by Steckel, went off the skate. Into the corner goes Armstrong. Steckel down there. Going to have a little trouble doing anything here without his stick as he lost it in the fray. It comes around on the boards, and now Steckel's going to be able to pick up that cue on the way out. Pass on the right wing for Hensky. Drop pass Smith into the slot. The shot goes high over top of the goal. Hensky around back of the net. Jim Hopkins out there at the center ice position with them. The Oilers have got some great young stars on the forward line, but as you mentioned, Milty, it's defense that they're going to have to concentrate on here in the next little while. They're going to make the next step. Grabowski swinging up, and it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as far as home and away. Grabowski with great speed, round back of the net. Set! Concentrate on here in the next little while. They're going to make the next step. Grabowski swinging up. They're going to make the next step. Grabowski swinging up, and it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as far as Bosky. The Oilers have got some great young stars on the forward line, but as you mentioned, Milty, it's defense that they're going to have to concentrate on here in the next little while. They're going to make the next step. Grabowski swinging up, and it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as far as home and away. Grabowski with great speed, round back of the net, centers!
Again, putting defense.
Here's the line, Kent skates again. Played to the line, not out, a shot right on. And that was knocked away there by Ryder. Leafs carry back at center and then over the line for Luka. Unable to get to it, but gets a piece of his man. Bozak unable to get to it as well. And now we have a broken piece of glass over there. The stanchions has come apart. We'll fix it.
He's going to be right behind Mikhail Grabowski here. Now watch what he does. Bad change by Ryan Smith. Gardner sees it, and now he delays it a little bit and then arrives right at the right time and sneaks in, and nobody picks him up. It's actually a 5-on-4 situation as the Oilers get caught in a bad change, and he just sneaks in. There's the pass. Not a great shot, really not hard, but well placed to give the Leafs a 2-1 lead. What a first year this kid has had. He's averaging only 20 minutes a game. And his acquisition
on to Gardner and favor. After Everly's goal, 21 seconds in, MacArthur and Gardner have scored for the Leafs. Hall getting it to the line, and delayed offside, played back out by the Maple Leafs. Leafs getting it up on the left wing side, and it's backhanded down into the Toronto zone. Into the corner goes Gagne after it. Took away from him, and Mark MacArthur will launch it out at center ice on a pass to Kuhlman. Grabowski catching up on the rush. Kuhlman gets it in over the line. Grabowski in along the boards, a long alley-oop pass to center. Gardner is there to free it up. Kuhlman brings it back into his own zone.
coming as the long shooting goes wide of Dubnik's cage. Back into the corner for Ryan Whitney, and he gets it up on the wing. And the Oilers try to move it out. The drop pass went to Nugent Hopkins. His pass ahead to Smith didn't work. Along the boards, Whitney into the rush. Gardner is taken it away and finds Luke Shen. Shen with a long backhand that will bounce past the defense down into the Oilers zone. And back into net, Gilbert playing it up onto the wing, and Smith pass. Partially blocked, but carried on by Nugent Hopkins and across the line. Drop pass, goes to the side of the goal. And Franson took it away there and sends it ahead at center. Here's a chance for Lombardi. Through on the defense, he's in a goal! And down to smother the 5-hole was Devin Dubnyk to hold on as he bails out his defenseman.
And Tom Gilbert is the culprit. He gets caught flat-footed. And we've seen this before from Lombardi. He's got a terrific change of pace. And there is that change of pace. Gilbert gets caught standing still, and Dubnyk's been very good this period, or this score could be a little bit worse as the Leafs have really come on the second half of this first period using their speed.
Draw is batted into the corner by... It's a chance for Lombardi. Throwing to the defense.
On Devin Dubnyk!
Was Devin Dubnyk.
Order saves by Devin Dubnyk. The orders are late. That's scoreless.
And we've seen this
Game
before.
5.
Lombardi's got a treatment. He gets
Hold on as he bails out his defenseman.
Tom Gilbert is the culprit. He gets caught flat-footed. And we've seen this before. Lombardi's got a terrific change of pace. And there is that change of pace. Gilbert gets caught standing still. Dubnyk's been very good this period. This score could be a little bit worse. He's got really fast the second half of this first period using their speed.
To the side.
Sportsnet is your tennis sports. Then join the BP.
Batted into the corner by...
This score could be a little bit worse.
Into the night at the Toronto blue line.
Are you really good at eating wings and watching sports? Then join the BPFL at your local Boston Pizza and start eating your way to great prizes.
Sportsnet is your tennis home. Watch Milos Raonic lead Canada against France in the upcoming Davis Cup live from Vancouver, February 10th through to the 12th right here on Sportsnet East, Ontario West, and Pacific.
We want to wish a very happy birthday to assistant coach Scott Gordon, along with Bob Seymour of Stevensville, who's 70. Mary Worcester, who works in the front office with the Leafs. His daughter and Mary Troy, 102 years young in Etobicoke, watching the game tonight. Big Leaf fan of Sundin and Gilmore and Clark. Congratulations. Here the Oilers back in across the line. Horcock with a shot, and that was knocked down by Reimer. The rebound around back to the net. Horcock tied up there by Lupo. Puck comes straight. Horcock coming out in front, sends it back. Mitra with a chance in front, and the shot by Horcock went nowhere. Horcock was 5 feet in front of the goal. Wide open. Yeah. Why send it further away? Oilers back in their own zone, and Hall starts down the left wing. Hall working against Shen. Stops gunning into the slot. Nice pass. Everly again. Scores! Zone A. Oilers back in their own zone. Hall starts down the left wing. Hall working against Shen. Stops gunning into the slot. Starts down the left wing. Hall working against Shen. Stops gunning into the slot. Nice pass. Everly again.
Up front.
The point kept
The official immediately waves it off. And here goes Smith where he always goes, right in front of the net. Boy, oh boy. Unless the net is off before the puck. Let's have a look. There's the first shot, second shot. That should count. That should be a goal as he was pushed in from behind and then the puck is sitting there and he knocked it in the net.
There's no goal play. The incidental contact with the goaltender. No penalty.
Oh, the Edmonton Oilers are not going to like this one. And nor is Ryan Smith. I don't blame him. For me, he was pushed behind, and John Michael Isles might know it also by the look on his face. Let's have another peek at it from this angle. There's Smith in the crease. And the question is, did he get pushed from behind or not? Smith, I don't blame him. For me, he was pushed behind, and John Michael Isles might know it also by the look on his face. Let's have another peek at it from this angle. There's Smith in the crease. And the question is, did he get pushed from behind or not? The ref says he didn't.
So, a break for the Maple Leafs. Took down into the Edmonton zone. Game tied at 2. Dubnyk leaving it back to the net line. Took down into the Edmonton zone. Game tied at 2. Dubnyk leaving it back to the net line. Crept in. Now it is Grabowski trying to play it in front, but it's cut off and brought out by Hemsky. Hemsky dropping it back, and the pass was in behind Smith. And the Leafs counterattack now. Here's Krudeman in over the line, trying to drop it back for Grabowski. Grabowski works around back to the net. Still with it, centers, and that one off the shin pad the other way, and out, away from the net. 1:36 to play in the period. Gardner has it go off the leg, fed back at center, cut off there by Gardner, and he carries it in against Lyle from the top side.
With 1 minute and 27 seconds left in the first.
Are you really and started
Tennis home. Watch Mueller's Raonic League. Sport Davis Cup live from Vancouver, February 10th through the 12th right here on Sportsnet East, Ontario West, and Pacific.
They want to wish a very happy birthday up into the screen and out of play.
And with 1:19 left in the first.
Taylor Hall just having such a terrific year once again. Yeah, and he's had some injuries as well, only 4 points short of last season's production.
He attended the Heritage Classic back in 2003 as an 8-year-old. I said, what do you remember?
Going to be deflected up into the screen and out of
By
play.
Dubnyk. With 1:16 left.
And then he said, what? Taylor Hall this morning on what we're trying to do tonight. One of the things he said he was going to do is check off the worst of this collision with 2 fouls in the first period. Initially, that's belonging as well with a little body injury. Season's production.
He attended the Heritage Classic back in 2003 as an 8-year-old.
Trying to get around for the
Plans to do tonight. One of the things he said he was going to do is use Sabines, but Hordichuk got the worst of this collision with 2 fouls in the first period. Initially, that looked like a lower body injury, but now he's in the Oiler room under examination.
28 minutes, 40. 31 minutes, 30 seconds, and 1 hour. 32 minutes, 20 seconds, and 1 hour, 40 minutes, 54.
12 to go in the period. Handed down into the Edmonton zone. Minute 12 to go in the period. Laid out at center ice now. Here's Gagne. Left wing pass for Hall, and his speed in front of the net, which was a pass, was kicked away by Ryder. Everly now has a goal in all 3 career games he's played against Toronto. As a deflection there had to be watched carefully by Dubnyk. Here the Leafs again in front with a shot. Dubnyk with the save. Again another try by Lombardi. Laid around back of the net. Crab unable to get to it. Everly knocks it down, and Everly striding out at center with Jeff Petrie into the rush with him. Petrie into the corner, trying to work around back of the net. Cycles the puck now, and here are the Oilers with it again. Back to the blue line, it comes a long shot, and seeing that all the way off the stick of Jeff Petrie was Reimer, and he's going to hold on.
This period brought to you by Toyota. Now's the best time to get behind the wheel of a Toyota and drive home a deal.
He's just as good an Edmonton Oiler to me. I know he's moved around the National Hockey League, but terrific again this year for Edmonton. He's coming back. What a season he has had at his age. 16 goals and 36 points.
And along the boards, the Leafs trying to get it out. Lupul does. Snaps it ahead, and Kessel with speed down the right wing, trying to turn the defense. And a good play made by Corey Potter to get back there and get the angle on it. Leafs keep it alive, just seconds left. And with a loose puck in an empty net, not enough time to do the damage.
Scored the first.
Jordan Everly with a big first period, but the Leafs in a 2-2 tie. And Leafs go to the boys.
No item in play keyboard shortcut K button K. Keyboard shortcut K button K.
We
we venture west to the home of hockey smoke eaters, Trail, British Columbia. Their stable of exports include Blues defender Barrett Jackman, former two-way winger Adam Deadmarsh, current Oilers general manager Steve Tambolini, and one of his veteran skaters, the Oilers number 10, Sean Horkoff. This Oilers center is currently in his 11th NHL season, all with Edmonton. He has in excess of 400 points and a career approaching 750 games played. A former fourth-round choice in 1998 is a clever veteran helping to stabilize a young Oiler core. Here's to all the great players from Trail, BC, and everything this land gives it.
Was a bit of a track meet in that first period. 2 goals apiece. Everly has both for Edmonton. MacArthur and Gardner scoring for Toronto. And Mikhail Grabovski with a couple of assists on the Toronto goal.
Well, it started very early as the Edmonton Oilers got on the board as Taylor Hall threw it towards the net, and Everly ended up with the goal as Canuck gave it away, and the Leafs used their speed. Clark MacArthur, we've seen this combination with Grabovski, and then Grabovski again. This time he finds Gardner sneaking in from the point, and then Everly again, right at the very end of the period, to tie the game up at 2.
Shots favor Edmonton 15-11 in the first period. And after the slow start by Grabovski, boy, has he caught fire. 44 shots, 24 points, and 18 goals. And 21 assists now. He's got 39 points.
And in a contract here,
28 scouts here tonight. And general managers in attendance. Lots of them around.
I'll tell you, there's a school day game in Hamilton tomorrow, one in Toronto on Wednesday. So this is a triple header for all these guys.
And we'll hear more from Scott Morrison when we hear from him.
Here's a chance for Kuhlman, and a long shot is deflected wide by Dubnyk. Along the boards, Kuhlman couldn't get to it, and Hall starts away on the left wing side. Hall trying to get around Phaneuf, a bouncing shot that one hops up into the glove of Reimer, and he's going to hold on for a face-off coming in the Toronto zone to the left.
Now, both goalies, I'm sure, not pleased that 2 goals got behind them, but both goalies also had to make some huge saves, as you mentioned, Joe. A bit of a track meet in the first period as both teams gave the puck away a little too much than I'm sure the coaches would have liked.
Phil Kessel recorded his 300th career point on the assist of Clark MacArthur's goal in the first period. Speed shot deflects wide of the Toronto goal. Centering effort didn't get there. And now Kessel gets it out at center, just out of the reach of Lupul. Backhanded into the zone by Jones. Reimer leaving it around back of the net. And Franson with an outlet pass for Lupul. Lupul trying to go wide on the defense. Took a pretty good hit there from Ladislav Smeed. It goes back in, by Jeff Petrie, who stood him up. And now Petrie gets it up on the left wing side, and Horkoff is away. Petrie's been jumping into the rush repeatedly and had a great pass for the goal earlier. And now Lupul with it now, launching it out at center. Here's a chance for Kessel along with Bozak. Kessel back to Bozak. And unable to get the shot away. Nugent Hopkins may have got away with a bit of a hook there, but he made a great play nonetheless. Shen back to the net. Wrapped around attempt by Lupul went wide. Rebound at the blue line, and Shen unable to keep it in against Horkoff. Gardner has it deflected by Bozak. Into the far corner is Lombardi, faking a pass. Sends it back into the corner and back of the net now for Conley. Tim Conley centers. Lombardi took his time. What a goal! Has it deflected by Bozak. Into the far corner is Lombardi.
No, I didn't.
Faking a pass. Sends it back into the corner and back of the net now for Conley. Tim Conley centers. Lombardi it in against Horkoff. Gardner has it deflected by Bozak. Into the far corner is Lombardi, faking a pass. Sends it back into the corner and back of the net now for Conley. Tim Conley centers. Lombardi took his time. Into the far corner. Gardner has it deflected by Bozak. Into the far corner is Lombardi faking a pass. Sends it back into the corner and back to the net now for Conley. Jim Conley centers. Lombardi took his time. What a goal! Guard slow line and Shen unable to keep it in against Horcock. Gardner in it over the line. In a little deeper. Tom Gilbert gets it out. Brought to the line by Ben Eager. A little shoot in that Reimer has a little difficulty with, but presses it up against his body to hold.
Now Dubnyk here on this last play. A little bit of a mix-up with his defense behind the net. And that's what starts it off. As Dubnyk there traps the puck and then just can't get a handle on it. And that slowed the puck down enough for Matthew Lombardi to get possession, hit circle high, get the puck back, and then dish it off to Kessel.
There's a chance at the blue line, and a shot is blocked there by Mike Brown, and he blocks a third to get it out. Armstrong across the line. Armstrong sliding it in, and Brown sends the shot whipping wide of the goal. 3 blocks and a shot in about 4 seconds. Here's a chance for Armstrong again. Toby Armstrong. Back of the net for Mike Brown. Brown hustles into the corner after the loose puck. Brown thought about cycling it back for Armstrong, but it was gobbled up there, and Hall gets it out, and Brown shoots it right back in again. Pretty good shift there from Mike Brown.
Those are tough play for goalies because sometimes the puck will skate away from you behind the net, and your entire team is expecting the goalie to stop the puck, and when he doesn't, it normally means that the opposition is going to get puck possession behind the net like the Leafs did.
Everly unable to come up with the puck on the shoot-in. Kuhlman gets it freed up, and here's Carl Gunnarsson in over the line. Played around to the near side. Kuhlman is there again. Had it knocked off his stick. Horcock gets it out. Eric Belanger plays it in over the line off the glove of Cody Franson, and Franson takes it around back to the net. Franson up the middle. Mark McCarthy couldn't handle it. And the puck goes back down into the Toronto zone, and Lyles will play it ahead, and apparently Kuhlman touched that. No, I'm not sure he did. The linesman says he did. He was right there. Speed. Left side, brought on by Belanger. Belanger pulls up at the line. Had a shot, though, that was deflected into the corner by Reimer. He's get clear of it back into Edmonton territory. Here's a giveaway again. Dubnyk! Nice goal! Brought on by Belanger. Belanger pulls up at the line. Had a shot, though, that was deflected into the corner by Reimer. He's get clear of it back into Edmonton side. As he bucked it into the corner by Reimer. He's get clear of it back into Edmonton territory. Here's a giveaway again. Dubnyk! Nice goal! Shot to Edmonton territory. Here's a giveaway again. Dubnyk! Nice goal! Clear of it back into Edmonton territory. Here's a giveaway again. Dubnyk! Nice goal! Side brought on by Belanger. Belanger pulls up at the line. Had a shot, though, that was deflected into the corner by Reimer. He's get clear of it back into Edmonton territory. In the 5 minutes of the second period to build a 4-2 lead for Tyler Bozak. It's his 10th of the season.
Barker missed 35 games with an ankle injury. Came back February the 2nd, and this Edmonton Oilers defense, they've been broken down a little bit, and probably a lot of them just trying to get their timing back. A situation there where a little overhandling it. Tambellini, I think they're doing a great job in Edmonton building this team, but it's tough to be patient, and you can see Tambellini a little anxious at the moment with his group, but young mistakes on the blue line has really hurt the Edmonton Oilers throughout the year. But you look at their forwards and the way they've drafted, and this team, I think, has a terrific future moving.
Getting in front, lead netminder. I would hate to be counting the giveaways in this game. Here's a chance in over line for Everly, and the hat-trick goal just was in his reach, and he shot wide.
How good is Everly? Wow.
Kessel back the other way. Kessel steers it into the corner. Conley couldn't come up with it, and Tom Gilbert will get it up on the wing, and now here's a pass up on the left wing side. Gagne knocked down. His father Dave was in attendance tonight up here in the press box.
But he was on the ice for a while early.
I told him he was. On the left wing side, Lombardi with speed, and he is upended and in the corner. No penalty there either.
Thanks for that, Joe.
That's all right. And over the line for Hall. chased by Carl Gunnarsson. Centered in front. And it's back onto the stick of Lombardi, who was slow to get back into the zone. Here's Lombardi back in the other way. Takes Hall to the corner. Where the side boards pushed ahead then by Ryan Jones, but not out. Ryan Whitney dropping it back. A long lead pass that has gone astray. This will... no icing there either. Laid up on the wing to center. Armstrong can't come up with it.
Roughs on our chart to Edmonton to Winnipeg.
And there they are. Malone takes it. Oh! It went off the stick of Reimer and almost deflected out in front of the goal. Offside.
I like it. The refs are letting them go. Why not? Highly entertaining.
Tim Nowak finally blows the whistle. 4-2 Toronto. Nowak finally blows the whistle. 4-2 Toronto.
And one noticed that Mike Brown here with a couple of big blocks when the score was still 3-2, and there's another one, and then he gets the puck out, battles to get the puck out, and what does he do? Goes right to the net. And this fourth line for the Maple Leafs have been able to come up with some big minutes for the coach the last couple of weeks.
Well, in a checking role, late in periods, and instead of a liability, they're being assigned some very important minutes in a defensive role. And many times checking the other team's better line.
So with 15 games coming up in 31 days, the Leafs are going to need everybody. We got a lot of hockey on in the next little while.
Gagne steers it down into the Toronto zone.
Both goalies, if anybody wants to start the goalie controversy, there isn't one. They both are going to have to play, and they're both going to be needed the next little while with this schedule.
They off the boards on the left wing for Hall. Hall with a pass ahead to the line and in. Everly moving to the middle of the ice to Webber, and then shot it off a stick wide. Canuck got a piece of it. Canuck banks it ahead. Jordan Everly has never had a hat trick in the National Hockey League. He's had about 4 chances to get one here in the second period. Kessel down the board, centers, MacArthur with a bullet, and that was stopped. He gets a bonus try, a pass in front, looking for Kessel, didn't work. Pass off the boards for Kessel, in by Franson, and the centering pass, and Hall intercepts that. Nugent Hopkins getting it ahead at center. Left wing for Ladislav Sneed. He'll play it around back of the Toronto goal, and Franson has it in his skates, finding it there to get it around in the wing, but it's cut off by Sneed. Sneed down into the corner. Kessel chasing him. Sneed still with it. On the cycle, the puck flips it back to the net. Cut off by Lyles, but Smith has it again. Back to the blue line it goes. Long shot is whistled wide of the net by Petrie, and Reimer never moved. Petrie with it again. Pass in front, gobbled up, caught out at center. Franson looks for a pass on the wing to Lupel. Lupel cutting in, and the shot is deflected off the glass. Hemsky bringing it back the other way. Smith with a shot. These two teams will meet in about a week's time out in Edmonton. Kessel launches a bouncing shot in on Dubnyk. 11:14 to go, second period. 4-2 Leafs. Out at center ice and snapped down into the zone. Against the boards, Lombardi can't get to it. Edwell getting it back to the point. Long shot taken there by Parker is blocked. It goes into the corner. They bang away in there with Ben Eager trying to come out with it. And Shen trying to outfight Eager for the disc as it is played high to center ice over the outstretched hand of Parker, but it's going to be right on goal. Dubnyk leaving it there. Up on the left wing for Eager, rolling it in on goal, and it was just off the mark wide. Jones shedding the stick of Carl Gunnarsson that may have been hooked onto him. Here's Gunnarsson across the line for Brown, and his shot went wide. Armstrong, half-boards far side, down back to the net for Steckel. Steckel trying to center, and the paddle down play. Dubnyk knocked that away. Laid out at center ice, and the Leafs regroup it again. Franson banking it ahead for Armstrong. Armstrong back to Brown. Brown coming through the neutral zone was upended, and the puck goes back down into the Toronto end. Cody Franson around back of the net. Jammed the brakes on. Got it up on the wing for Armstrong. Now to Brown. crowd slides by one and hustles into the corner as the Leafs, the remainder of them, change on the go. Smeed around back of the net. And it's cleared out into the center ice area on the left wing for Hall. Hall with a sharp angle try. And as it rolled into the goal, it was smothered by Reimer before it was poked out of his glove. 4-2 Leafs midway through. And as it rolled into the goal, it was smothered by Reimer before it was poked out of his glove. 4-2 Leafs midway through the second. Tonight, Daryl Sittler's 10-point night against the Boston Bruins and Dave Reese. There is no other recorded evidence of that game other than the one copy of the game that Daryl Sittler actually owns of the full game. And Daryl has the only copy of the broadcast of that full game.
Reese burnt his copy.
Yes, he did. Face off to the right. 10 points in one night. We were down here with a group from Sudbury, courtesy Inco, watching that game, and it was really something. Into the corner it goes. Back to the net for Grabowski. Laid ahead for Kuhlman. Kuhlman unable to get it out. The centering pass knocked off the skate, and Clark MacArthur is away. It's a 3-on-2 rush. MacArthur looking for Grabowski. Going to the net to MacArthur. Oh, and he failed on it, and he had another glorious chance there. But look, a pass in for Grabowski doesn't work. MacArthur makes contact with that. He had that whole side of the net. Leafs are trying to change. Hall skates through center, hits the line, wrist shot, and Reimer finds that after it struck him and holds for a face-off, and the draw coming to the left. Watch this great bit of passing.
Everly with a little bit too fancy a move there, creates a 3-on-2 against the line. You don't want to do it against the hottest line on this hockey club, and Harper almost finishes that off in another pretty passing play on the 3-on-2 rush.
Draw one by Toronto, and Cody Franson snaps it up to Kessel, and his pass was under the reach of Lupul. Smeed back in his own zone. The Oilers are as healthy as they have been all season long. And ditto that for the Maple Leafs, who have Darryl Boyce still in the infirmary, but that's it. Rosehill and Komisarek are healthy scratches. Brought in on the right side now by Bozak, and a centering pass going there. Lupul trying to keep it in along that left wing boards, loses it. As it comes to center ice, Lyles gets it back to Bozak. Now for Kessel to Lupul. Lupul with a shot, and that deflects over top of the net. Lupul trying to come out from behind the goal, has it knocked away. Smeed will play it up on the left wing side for Smith. Ryan Smith, the veteran, in over the line for the Oilers, trying to get around Luke Schenn, but failing. Off the boards, gobbled up there by Parker. Parker, a sharp angle shot off a leg wide. Far side maintained by Jeff Petrie. Petrie trying to make a turn, gets it back into the slot. Gilbert's shot is high and wide of the net. Kept alive and sent in then by Anton Lander, and a whistle here as it will come outside the blue line.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
To renew antivirus by Microsoft Edge. Actions. 1 of 1.
And Cliff MacArthur, again, this year, he had such a slow start. You wondered if he was going to be able to duplicate last year's season, but he's well on his way now, having a terrific second half.
Been around on the boards. Ahead it goes to Joey Crabb. On to Conley. He couldn't get around Lander, and it banked off the boards. It's a delayed offside. Eager was in there. Going to turn into an icing anyway. So it'll be brought back into the Oilers zone. Ron Wilson was a little upset with his crew in the first period. They've settled down a little bit in the second.
And goals have not been an issue for his team this year, and defending was an issue earlier in the year, but you have to be impressed the way the Leafs have tidied up their own end. They close gaps between forwards and defense much better, and of course, it goes without saying, the penalty killing has not been an issue for his team this year, and defending was an issue earlier in the year, but you have to be impressed the way the Leafs have tidied up their own end. They close gaps between forwards and defense much better, and of course, it goes without saying, the penalty killing has been huge ever since the start of the year.
14 games without giving up a goal on the power play, and they are battling the likes of Gordy Quillen, Silats, Nick Nets, Wally Stanowski, Bucko McDonald, and Turk Broda. Because the 1940-41 team went 15 games without giving up a power play goal. As Happy Day was running the operation with that
for the
Toronto
95th
team.
year.
And here is a look at what's going on as far as the Leaf penalty killing is concerned. They have launched themselves all the way to 29th place as far as the overall.
A long way to go after the start they had.
Yeah, they're coming from a long way back.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Way back.
This is Seabiscuit in the stretch. Happy Day.
Score! What a save.
And here is a look at what's gone on as far as the Leaf penalty killing is concerned.
What he plans to do tonight, one of the things
they have launched themselves all the way to 29th place. Look at what's gone on as far as
initially to walk off what looked like a lower body injury. Now he's in the Oiler room under examination.
New notification from PompeyAlease.co.in. Critical virus alert. Appear to scan. By Microsoft Edge. Actions. 1 of 1 win.
This is Seabiscuit in the stretch. They have launched themselves all the way to 29th place as far as the overall.
A long way to go after the start they had.
Yeah, they're coming from a long way back.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Way back.
What a save by Devin Newman.
And here is a look at what's going on as far as the Leaf penalty killing is concerned.
See guys now,
They scored.
Stick on his torso, and he got the call. They have launched themselves all the way to
65.
They have launched the Leafs as Happy Day.
now back down when they feel that any kind of stick on their torso, and he got the call.
They have launched themselves all the way to 29th. And here is a look at what's gone on. Yeah, oh, yeah. This is Seabiscuit in the stretch. Long shot. Go!
A long way to go after the start they had.
Yeah, they're coming from a long way back.
Yeah, oh, yeah. This is Seabiscuit in the stretch. Long shot. Go!
Go after the start they had.
Yeah, they're coming from a long way back.
Yeah, oh, yeah. This is Seabiscuit in the stretch. The score. Oilers with 21 shots, the Leafs with 17. And the pass ahead, and here's Grabowski back in, faking the shot, then let it go.
Well goal.
And Dubnyk was not fooled by the quick move, and is able to take it on the chest and hold for a faceoff.
And there's Lupul now talking to the defense right now about this very play. And sorry, it's Michael Lyles that throws it around. And Lupul's a right-handed shot, which makes it a lot tougher for him to trap the puck. He's got to either get his body or stick on that play. That's a tough play for Lupul because he did not have a lot of time to get there, being on the offside. The puck went to the point, ends up in the back of the net because of it.
So the draw to the right of Dubnyk. The Leafs lead.
Edmonton takes
to the Toronto zone. Oilers with 21 shots, the Leafs with 17. And the pass ahead, and here's Grabowski back in, faking the shot, then let it go. This the score from the point. Grabowski back in, faking the shot, then let it go. And Dubnyk was not fooled by the quick move.
Sutton gets a shot in right away. And he ragdolls on Patty. Elbow Patty back up. And they're really throwing jackhammers, and they go to the ice. Patty really trying to prove himself after he's out of the game in Detroit. They'll go to the box. And a heated scrap here in Edmonton. It's Michael Lyles that throws it around. Because of it's his time to go.
Canuck and Smith, two old combatants from the Battle of Alberta. The shot is smothered by Reimer.
They're going to give this to Horcock, so maybe he did touch it.
At any rate, it's a one-goal hockey game again.
Well, we don't think he touched it. I'm not sure he did either. And here's the Lyles play, up the boards. Here's the shot. Horkoff right there puts his blade out. We don't think he touched it. And then on the bench, he's saying, I don't think I touched it. Nope, I don't think so. I think that's your goal, kid. I think veteran captain saying, not mine. So that could be changed before this game is over.
Well, while he was with Michigan State, he scored the NCAA winning goal against Boston College with 18.9 seconds left. He got credit for that. It might not get credit for this. Here's Armstrong sending it back to Steckel. They cycle it along for Lyles. Lyles sends it back in the backhand. Brown got there first but couldn't make a play. And it is cleared out into the center ice area. And here's Nugent Hopkins across the line. Hemsky with a shot that's blocked. Off the bench comes the defenseman Petrie to get it back to the net. They bang in along the boards and Lyles comes out with it. Jake Gardner leading the rush. He is in need of a change, so he sends it down deep into the Oilers zone. 5:04 to play in the second period. He's 4 and the Oilers 3. Bringing back behind the net, dishes it off to Ladislav Speed. He gets it back again. He'll try a long roundabout way to get it ahead. Jones got a piece of that, so there's no icing. But up. Off the glass through center, past Crab. Almost stolen by Lombardi. And now sent into the Toronto zone, Carl Gunnarsson. Off the boards to center. They're on to the stick of the Oilers. They have to wait for teammates to get onside. Lombardi couldn't come up with it. Gunnarsson does to Lombardi. Passed ahead for Conley. Conley on the right side for Crab. Back to Conley again. Conley sends it high into the left wing corner. Crab trying to get there but can't. And on the wing, Everly gets it out at center. Round back to the net. Everly with a pair of goals, and the last Oiler with a hat trick against Toronto. Marius Cherkasky, 1997. And on the left wing, Gardner chases his man, and it's Everly. Into the slot, and banning on that shot there was Gagne. He hasn't banned on too many recently, as it's played down into the Oilers zone. Bozak around back of the net. Gagne starts out with it. Former London junior slips it high into the left wing corner. Paul after it. Got spun around there by Phaneuf, but it comes back to the blue line. Whitney can't keep it in. Potter off the boards on the wing. Everly to Hall. Hall's across the line. His pass though struck Phaneuf, and it bounces ahead, and Grabowski, he's got a man with a loop ball shot. That is stopped. Kessel after it. Phaneuf a drive. Knocked down. Score! Everly to Hall. Hall's across the line. His pass though struck Phaneuf, and it bounces ahead, and Grabowski is across. Potter off the boards on the wing. Everly to Hall. Hall's across the line. His pass though struck Phaneuf, and it bounces ahead, and Grabowski, he's got a man with a loop ball. Off the boards on the wing. Everly to Hall. Hall's across the line. His pass though struck Phaneuf, and it bounces ahead, and Grabowski, he's got a man with a loop ball shot. There is nothing. Let's have a look. It's wide open. Back the three. Grabowski frees it up. Kuhlman shields it, and he finds a lead pass for Lyles. Trying to get in over the line there against Gilbert. And it rolls in on goal, and Dubnyk knocked it away. Later on, back to the net for Clark McCarthy. Leafs, who had 5 goals the other night in Ottawa, have got another 5-goal lead. And there's still a period to go. 2 minutes and 12 left in this second period. Back down into the Toronto zone, and Luke Schenn turns with it now. Schenn working wide with a pass through the middle that's being deflected too high over the glass and into the screen, out of play.
Intact Insurance, proud partner of the Toronto Maple Leafs and all the fans who keep believing. Intact Insurance, you're back.
Joffrey Lupul ends a bit of a drought. That's his first goal against the Oilers since February of 2004, 9 games ago, but some injuries had a little problem in there.
I don't know how you can grab the puck, bring it around in front of you, and then put it on your stick and have the play allow to be counted.
You push off your left foot, Greg.
Wow. Thank you, Bill Mazeroski. And that looked like the play at second base. It was a neighborhood play, and so they end up making double plays, I guess. Icing call coming here against the Maple Leafs. The Oilers didn't raise much of a ballyhoo about it, other than Dubnyk being upset by the puck not being clear.
One of the better stories in the National Hockey League, I think, the way he had to come back after his injury issues and getting ill as well because of it, and losing all the weight that he did. At one point, thinking he'd never play perhaps in the National Hockey League again. Here he is with an absolute incredible year that nobody thought he would have, including himself.
And you know, the performance he put on in Ottawa at the All-Star game has really made him one of the faces of this franchise. Personality-wise, ability-wise, and you're right, the story is a great story. And Joffrey Lupul is enjoying every minute of it, and it shows. And across the line, broken up there by Potter. Left feed for Everett.
I say, Joe, it's another example as well of how you have to let kids mature sometimes and grow up a little bit in this league. And often we don't do that, and it's a tough thing when you're a manager, when you're in the results business, but sometimes you're just a little bit more patient, often you're rewarded for it.
Finally in across the line, Lombardi driving the net! That's up the rebound, and Pratt failed to knock it home there against Dubnyk. 25 seconds left in the period. A shot by Gagne. And for once, one of his shots doesn't go into the net. It's on a slump.
Even tonight now, this line has been terrific.
Yes, it has.
Every time they're on the ice.
Offside waved off. Dubnyk's going to smother with 8.3 seconds.
The big line.
Lost it. Eric Belanger won it. Got it ahead at center for Ryan Jones. Jones in over the line. Tries to center. And the horn ends the period. Hockey Central coming up. Leafs in a bit of a scoring fest here. Leading 5-3. Fest here. Leading 5-3.
Oilers.
Leafs in a bit of a scoring fest here. Leading 5-3.
Welcome
back to the Air Canada Centre, where the Maple Leafs have a 5-3 lead. Intersect the Air Canada Centre, where the Maple Leafs have a
Oilers tied at 0.
Lead. Intersect finished somehow the scoring with his 21st of the year at 16:54. Let's go down to ice level now and join Scott Morrison.
Thanks, Joe. Obviously, coming into this game, a big focus for the Maple Leafs, the red-hot Gagne line. The game plan coming in was to get Phaneuf and Gunnarsson out as often as possible, along with the Grabowski line. And even though they've given up a couple of goals by Everly, they like how that matchup has been tonight. They've taken away a lot of the time and space. The goals they got, Scott Gordon, the assistant coach, told me came from a lot of the time, hadn't been making in recent weeks as a team. So they like that matchup and will continue forward in the third period with it. And you guys mentioned earlier about the 28 scouts that here tonight, an unofficial Air Canada Centre record. They represent 23 teams. The countdown is on. 3 weeks to trade deadline day. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Scotty, and Garth Malarchuk and the rest of the Leaf scouting crew, a lot of them in town as well, so they've added to that list of scouts that are in attendance. They all do such a great job. As the Leafs have a 5-3 lead. As the Leafs have a 5-3 lead heading in.
No goals.
As the Leafs have a 5.
Up in a goal for me tonight in this game, and what a creative kid, a little give and go. It ended up in a goal behind the net, and then early in the game here when Paul threw it towards the net and Everly opened the scoring for the Edmonton Oilers in the first period.
And they have officially changed the Horcoff goal to Petrie getting it for his second of the year. And as you saw, reading the lips of Horcoff saying, I don't think I touched that.
Touched that one.
Oh, there were guys in your area, though, and your ilk that used to rush across the ice and point at themselves, and I got a piece of that one.
Not many. Once in a while. Sorry, Curly and Mo, give you a little shot again. It won't go early thing.
Actually, I think one of them was Shem. Always liked Shem. Shem was the boss.
Well deserved. You know, you make one mistake early, and oh boy, they jumped you, don't they?
Speed in on the wing with a sharp angle shot, stopped by Reimer. And Bozak turns up ice with a lead pass for Lupul. He's got Kessel trailing on the play, but he carries on. He's in a goal! And that was stopped by Dubnyk. What a great chance that was for Joffrey Lupul.
And a real issue for the Edmonton Oilers tonight is Maple Leafs have been able to twist and turn and get lots of room through the neutral zone as the gap from defense to forward for the Oilers has been way too big. And when you're playing against a speedball team like the Maple Leafs, look here, Lupul just walks right through two players and gets an excellent chance on Dubnyk again.
Everly on the right wing side, drops it back. Corey Potter gets it to center. Panook stepped into his man. The puck was around back of the net. Centering effort doesn't work. Now on the near side, trying to come out with it. It's centered back by Hall to the blue line. Speed into the corner. Back to the net. Carl Gunnarsson getting it up on the wing, and Clark MacArthur gets it out, but unable to reach it. And then stealing it is Grabowski. He's into the net. Rolls it on goal. It's in behind the goaltender. And swept back to the goal then by Everly. What a rush by Grabowski, who electrified the crowd with a rush down the right wing that ended up in a goal being scored by Jake Gardiner. That time he almost put it in behind Dubnyk himself. He is just flying these days.
Island Airport's not far away.
Jones sends it down into this lead corner. Gorkoff unable to come out with it. Played to the line but not out. Gilbert can't send it to the net. Gets it another try and a long shot. Fairly easy block there by John Michael Lyles. Lyles got it in off Lombardi into the corner. Played by Dubnyk, but right onto the stick of Pratt. He tried a quick centering pass, didn't work. Now it comes to front. Conley had to reload down and then send it wide. Gardiner working down the right side, stops. Now sends it into the corner. Conley holding the puck, sends it across into the left wing boards area. And here's Shen sending it right back behind the net. Lombardi, a nice play to take it away from Gilbert there momentarily. Now Pratt unable to get to it cleanly, and Ryan Jones has slipped it out into the center ice as Barker and Crabbe have a little bit of a shoving session, but nothing more to develop.
We've seen this a lot of late. We've seen this a lot tonight. Grabowski just turns it up and just takes the puck right to the net. And Dubnyk here with the poke check that almost didn't work. Just got enough of it, didn't it? This almost just went right in.
Almost knocked it in with his goal stick when he came back over across. Steckel has the stick knocked out of his hands. Brought out now by the Oilers. Sent back into the Edmonton zone, then brought in over the line, breaking in, a goal shot. Oh, what a save made by Reimer! Ben Eager cutting across, and Reimer got the right glove in front of that. And the blocking glove and the paddle of the stick makes the save. Smeed into the corner. Smeed trying to center. That comes in front of him, another shot. Stopped by Reimer, there's a rebound. Where's the puck?
I think Shen just saved the goal behind. There
He did.
And a couple of big saves by Reimer. One on Ben Eager moments before this. And here's the second one there as he gets a piece of it. Ball, the bouncing puck. And look at Luke Shen. Knocks it into his goalie and then lies down on the goal line. And here's Eager coming to the net. And Reimer's going to get his blocker on this there. As Eager beats Luke Shen to the net. And what a save. What a save. It's the goalies have been active tonight. They've given up a lot of goals, but they've had to make some pretty good saves also.
Shen and Gardiner combined +5 tonight, each +10 for the season for those two young defensemen.
High pass goes out into the center ice area. Oilers back to regroup it. Chipped down in over the line. And fed right back in again. Here's a loose puck side of the net. Nugent Hopkins trying to jam it in, and that didn't work. Puck bounces back to the blue line. Fed over on the near side again. A long shot is off the mark wide. Smith trying to get to it and can't. Oilers keep it in with Ryan Whitney. Whitney on the left wing, half boards, trying to find him in. Plays it back to the net for Smith. That got by him. Kept it at the point by Potter. And then cut off by Cody Franson. And freed up by Lupul, and Lyles launches a big backhand to center that Kessel couldn't find a way to come up with. Back at center ice for Gagne. And a turnover there. Sent into the corner again. Phaneuf unable to get to it. Eberle dancing around, and Phaneuf working on him. Hall carries into the corner, chased by Carl Gunnarsson. Back to the point it goes. Parker unable to get it in front, and now here's Eberle with a pass in front, and rolling off his stick was Gilbert, who had a great scoring chance. There's a centering pass there, and down at Reimer to knock it away. Phaneuf under siege here, plays it to the line, but not out. Right back in again. Here's a chance in front of the goal, and Phaneuf got there just in the nick of time to knock down Hall. Change is coming for both teams. Big siege there by the Oilers, and Hall took too much time to either make up his mind to make a pass or take it to the front of the net.
And I think both players there ended up getting shaken up a little bit as Phaneuf's bent over on the bench. Maybe it's just equipment. We'll find out in a second.
This period brought to you by Chevrolet, driving our world forward.
With all of the giveaways, there's still just 27 shots by the Oilers.
And there's this skate that, hard to tell there, but the skate might have come up and hit Phaneuf in the leg. And boy, that's deja vu there, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yes.
And he's been there before.
Shot, stop, rebound in front, wired right into the goal. The rebound comes in front, and Gardner's able to get it away.
Game may end up 7-7 before we're done.
No kidding. James Reimer faced 49 shots in Ottawa, and with the shutout, and the previous high was 47 by Mike Palmatier in 1977. Most shots against the Leaf goaltender registering a shutout. Draw to the left of Reimer. And it is controlled by Toronto and played into the left wing corner. Chipped ahead for Conley, and he gets it out into the center ice area courtesy Matthew Lombardi. Round into the forecheck. Conley as well. Plays to the line and out. Lyles sends it high into the zone. Gobbled up there and brought on by the Oilers, but unable to make a play with it was Ben Eager. Cody Franson. A bank pass is deflected by Armstrong down into the Oiler end. Steckel got a piece of his man. Brought out now by Jeff Petrie. Onto the wing for Hemsky that didn't work, and Armstrong will knife it down into the Oiler zone again. Back to the net. Brown, Steckel. Brown with it again. Unable to make a play into the corner for an awaiting centerman and David Steckel. And now up the middle it comes for Nugent Hopkins, and onto the wing it goes for Hemsky. A right wing feed now for Potter. On a shot wide of the goal. Whitney trying to keep it in and does. Smith in the corner against Cody Franson. Steckel in there trying to help out. Smith gets it freed up. Ales Hemsky trying to come out of the corner. Brown got a piece of his man, and it is sped around the boards by Lyles, but not out. Maintained by Potter. Jammed in there is Lyles. Armstrong finally gets to it and is able to chip it out into the center ice area. Gagne, if both teams are changing, sends it back into the Oiler end. Right wing feed sends Gagne back into the Toronto zone. Spun around on the play, hit by Lyles. Phaneuf with the loose puck up on the wing for Lupul, and Lupul with a long left wing feed. Try for Kessel didn't work, and then a drive launched by Petrie ends up way up into the screen and out of play. Leafs hanging on, and I do mean hanging on to a 5-3 lead.
He wants to show this again. And, oh, man, I mean, Taylor Hall in this play, and it's created quite a conversation about helmets and warm-ups, of course. And that was just an awful incident.
Corey Potter stepping on his head, and there is the end result.
Taylor Hall, I mean, he only missed a game, if you can imagine. And I love the way this kid plays. He's a gamer, and what a skill set he has. A terrific skater with power.
It was so reminiscent of the Boreas Salming incident, although the game was being played at the time when Salming got stepped on in the goal crease by Gerard Gallant, and yet he left immediately. He got off the ice, and you didn't know at times why he had gone or what the injury, how severe it was, and it was over 200 stitches for Boreas Salming. And that photograph is a famous one. The aftermath.
Well, we're on the top of a tough day for coaches, too. You got Tom Rennie out in the game late because he got hit with a puck this morning, and then he got run over in practice.
Here's Bozak with a chance in front. Down is Dubnyk, and it just went wide.
He's got broken ribs. They say he's going to be okay. He got completely run over today as well in Buffalo.
Leafs flip it ahead. Brought in over the line by Lupo and squeezed to the boards, and it's down into the Edmonton zone.
I can't believe Doug McLean never got run over. He couldn't even skate for crying out loud.
There you go, adding fuel to the fire. Hall with a drive, and it's whistled over top of the goal.
I couldn't resist. You have to have the last word, in the third period.
Just when we thought you guys were getting along.
Offside at the blue line. So the face-off outside the line.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada.
One of the old Maxie Silverman. They used to push him out on the ice, and he used to hang on to the net. Never mind not being able to play, he couldn't skate.
The worst skater I ever watched, for me as a coach that I had, was the late Roger Nielsen. Oh, Roger had trouble getting around as well, yeah.
Hey, you guys, you've got to listen to Tim and Sid Monday to Friday on Sportsnet, the Fan 590, or listen online at sportsnet.ca from 1 to 4, Monday to Friday. What Tim has lost on his head, well, Sid's more than made up in terms of the eyebrowage, and these guys have got a couple of personalities, and they've got some opinions, and on the odd occasion, they kind of agree. But they're big fans of our show, and of course, we're big fans of their show Monday to Friday.
Tyler Bozak with his 10th goal of the season. One of the 5 the Leafs have scored. His 31st point. He had 32 all of last year. Around on the boards off a leg. Gobbled up by Toronto and brought out at center by Crabbe to Lombardi. Back to Joey Crabbe and over the line. Crabbe with a shot. Glove save Dubnyk. And it will be held for a draw in the Oilers zone. 11:08 to play in the third.
Now 3 shots have got by Reimer, but he's kicked some rebounds out, but I've liked his movement tonight. There's been a lot of traffic. This is a difficult team to play against the Edmonton Oilers because they're very creative. There's an excellent save on Eager in the third period, and Shen helped out the cause a little bit here in the third period also as he saved the goal. Thanks a lot.
And gotta thank you, Pat, for his efforts. Oilers control the face-off and bring it out with a pass ahead. Deflected in by Hall. The Oilers turning it over and getting it back. Hall again has it turned over that time as he had it knocked off. Edmonton 15-8-3 on home ice. They've won 3 of their last 20 on the road. Canuck loses it. The shot goes off the leg as 4 Leafs were strewn in front of the net. Blocking shots. Grabowski sends it off the glove of MacArthur, and MacArthur sends it down into the Edmonton zone to get a change going. Not been a power play here tonight. The Leafs have had 3 games where they've not allowed a power play, but there haven't been any penalties here.
Part of that as well as the Oilers, the 3rd best power play in the National Hockey League, and the Maple Leafs the 5th.
The Oilers as well, Greg, the 6th most penalized team in the National Hockey League, whereas the Leafs are the least in that group, back up the other way.
So an icing charge here, and it's coming right back into the Edmonton zone. And the thing about penalty killing is you don't have to be real good at it if you don't take very many. And this is really quite a statistic.
A remarkable stat, really, that they've been able to stay out of the box and keep their sticks down and not get some hooks and holes. It's incredible throughout the course of the game.
And 2.5 less power plays per game is an enormous statistic.
And as we head back to Winnipeg, back on January, at least December 31st, 6 penalties that night, and the Jets scored on 3 of them. So it's been quite a turnabout as the Leafs get set to go back to Winnipeg for a game on Sportsnet tomorrow night.
The panel had a pretty good discussion about Sam Gagner before the game, before the in the second period, rather. It is an interesting topic. There's been much talk about him being traded before the big night that he had. Nights. I'm looking at him tonight, boy. It'd be a tough thing to do, trade Sam Gagner. This kid's a real good hockey player.
Played up on the wing, Bozak, a lead pass. Kessel had to slow up in order to get it, and then shot it just wide. He had to hold the blue line until the puck got there. If it had gotten to him quicker, he was in alone.
I think the only way the Oilers make that trade, as Doug McLean mentioned, if they get a real strong, good young defenseman. The only way they can do it.
Back at the point is Gardner, dished off for Conley. Conley sending it down into the corner now for Lupel. Lupel and Kessel back of the net. It's flipped on the front of the goal and shot by Conley just wide. Leafs in the midst of a change, and an exhausted Phil Kessel's heading to the bench. And the Oilers will launch it down into the Toronto zone. It will be interesting to see if Brian Burke does anything. And the way this team is playing and the chemistry that they have developed, you may get the feeling as you go along that less is going to be done rather than something large. And it will be interesting to see what happens. Lombardi back to the point. Cody Franson sends it to the net off the post, and then it struck Dubnyk in the seat of the pants and went wide. Crowd got a piece of that, but Franson got the puck through again. And the Oilers are going to have to wait for teammates to get onside. Gagner trying to snap it ahead, does to Everly. Everly saucered it in, cleared to the line but not out, kept alive by Gilbert. Gilbert gets it back to the point to Everly looking, whoa, another post. The bells of St. Mary's are going off here. This has been a wild one, and Everly comes with an iron of his first career hat-trick.
Bulls have had some breaks.
Comes with an iron of his first career
Five worst
Bulls
goals.
have had some breaks as well. It's just been such an open affair, and there's a tip by Joey Craven, a nice shot from Franson, and then Everly almost gets the hat trick, and there is absolutely no way that James Reimer saw that one, as it was a ton of traffic in front of him.
It's nice to hear it.
A nice sound. Often you heard it, though, and if you heard the crowd after it, you knew you were in trouble.
That's right.
Especially when you're on the road and you had that feeling.
Clark MacArthur will launch it down into the Edmonton zone. Kuhlman with a little head fake to gain the area back of the net center. Back in for MacArthur. Bounces in front. Dubnyk has scooped that up and is going to hold on.
You know, the forgotten man on this line a little bit is Kuhlman. Yes, he has not been producing the way the Leafs would like him to produce this year, but he does a lot of nice little things for you on the ice defensively. And often he'll be the first player with the puck on the line to make that key play to get out of the zone, or that little chip just inside the offensive blue line. And quietly, he's starting to get his game back a little bit more the second half of the year.
30-goal scorer a year ago, just 5 thus far this season. And he has had the hard luck year for sure. Push it down the boards there was Armstrong. Brown brings it in a little deeper, and now here's Steckel around back of the net. David Steckel back for Armstrong. He eludes one. Armstrong coming out in front of the backhand. And that ramped up off the stick of Ryan Whitney into the screen and out of play. And then Brown gives Whitney a bit of a shot on the way by. And Armstrong will get a word in there as well.
It's going to be tough for Armstrong for a while, and I don't think we should expect too much from him. When you miss this much time the last couple of seasons, and you have to play catch-up with just over 30 games to go, that's tough. That's really tough to do, and it's going to take him some time. I mean, he's not an overly quick player to begin with, and it's going to take with just over 30 games to go. That's tough. That's really tough to do, and it's going to take him some time. I mean, he's not an overly quick player to begin with, and it's going to take him some time to really get his game back. And it's really tough to do, and it's going to take him some time. I mean, he's not an overly quick player to begin with, and it's going to take him some time to really get his game back. And he's the kind of player that makes the playoffs. He's a playoff player. A guy that will get involved physically, draw some penalties. And so he may be a valuable player before this is all over. But again, it won't happen overnight, I don't think, based on the injury issues that he's had.
Well, they want to play the games more along the wall than they do in the middle of the ice with Steckel and Brown and he. And they've done that, and when they do get a chance down in the offensive end, they're usually working the cycle pretty well as Bozak turns with the loose puck and now sends an alley-oop, and here's Kessel after it. Down in the offense now.
Just a set play, I think, on the talkback to talk to the truck. That is a set play now that Kessel uses a lot with his linemen. And it works when you have that great speed.
Now here the Oilers with it again. Gagne into the slot. Back to the point it comes to Barker. Barker's shot is blocked by Lombardi. And back out into the center ice area it goes. The 2-goal lead here for Toronto. With 6:08 to play into the center ice area it goes. The 2-goal lead here for Toronto. With 6:08 to play third period. He's trying to nurse this one home and extend a winning streak. Center ice area for Lombardi. Crab trying to turn it back. And leading after 2 periods of play, the Leafs are 19-0-1. The only blemish was that collapse in the third period in Pittsburgh in the game that Ron Wilson felt may have been the team's best.
We haven't seen Nugent Hopkins here for a while on the ice, so we'll see if we can catch up to that in a moment.
Puck along the boards, and Grabowski slashes it ahead for Lombardi. Lombardi gets to center. Here's Grabowski in. Little fake, and then tried to draw it around the defense. He still has it. Kuhlman in front. Can he fend up? Draw it around the defense. He still has it. Kuhlman in front. Can he fend on the shot? And went harmlessly wide of the net.
Oilers 0. Leafs 0.
In the Toronto zone. To the center ice area. Going to be offside at the blue line. The Leafs with a 2-goal lead. 5:02 to go in the third period. The Leafs with a 2-goal lead and 5:02 to go in the third period.
Third period, and there is perhaps why, as Mike Brown hits him. Hopkins just coming off a shoulder injury, just played, this is his second game back from missing some considerable time with that injury, and he has not played the rest of this period after that hit.
Well, a busy week for the Maple Leafs as we look at the Oilers front office staff. They'll play in Winnipeg, as Kenny mentioned. If we look at the Oilers front office staff, they'll play in Winnipeg, as Kenny mentioned. The game you'll see here on Sportsnet. Then it is off to Philadelphia Thursday. And a night that a lot of us are looking forward to, and that is Matt Sundin's number 13 being raised to the rafters here on Saturday night when the Montreal Canadiens arrive.
Second time in Game 5.
At the blue line. Sent in down here, the Oilers trying to press with a pass in front, deflected away and played to the line, but not out. MacArthur unable to grab it. Played off the glass to center and a race for it. Kuhlman giving chase, but won't get there ahead of Ladislav Smid. Right wing side, Jeff Petrie sends a long shoot in down into the Toronto zone. Smith overskated the puck. Colby Armstrong turns now as he'll launch it on the backhand, and that's a little bit too much attached to it. And an icing charge is coming up here against the Leafs. Connected coming up after the game. Let's see what's going on there. 2:07 to play, third period. Leafs trying to go 5-0-1 in their last 6. Here's Brown and over the line, and Armstrong went hard to the net but didn't make any contact. Without a stick now is the defenseman Potter. Back of the goal goes Brown, and pinching in his Miles. Miles back into the corner, intercepted by the Oilers, and played to center ice. Cody Granson rattles it right back down into Edmonton territory. Sean Horcoff coming to center. The captain gets it in on the right wing side for Jones. A shot, and that's deflected by the stick of Reimer high up into the screen and out of play.
Another good balanced night in terms of scoring anyway for the Maple Leafs as they had both their two top lines going. And against an Edmonton team who needs some work still defensively in that aspect of their game. And that's one of the reasons why it's been a successful evening, as the speed has been huge again for Toronto. How many nights have we said that throughout the course of the season?
Well, speaking of balanced scoring, 9 Leafs have at least a point here tonight. Oilers on a 3-game road trip with a stop in Detroit before they play in Ottawa this week.
6, which is on
return home, and the Leafs will be their first opponent after the road trip.
Again, the rebuilding continues in Edmonton. I think they're going to be a real good team at some point.
Kessel, the loop ball, and the sweeping shot went just wide. Luke Shen with a drive and taken by Dubnyk and Hell.
Oilers have terrific forwards. Those young kids are just going to get better and better and better. They can add some players on the back end in defense, and we're going to be in business. There's another good chance to score by Lupu. He's had a terrific night, and then Dubnyk makes sure that there isn't another rebound attempt as he freezes it.
There are just 2 other games in the NHL, none of them involving the Eastern Conference teams, so a win by the Maple Leafs tonight would push them ahead of Ottawa and into 7th spot. And it wasn't so long ago that a win by the Ottawa Senators here had them 9 points ahead of the Maple Leafs. And in the middle of that 2-week span or 3-week span was a week off for the All-Star break. So the Leafs have made up a lot of ground, and the Ottawa Senators have really stumbled. Everly lays it in wide of the Leafs goal. Out of the goal comes Dubnyk. They're going to go with an extra attacker early here. Long shot goes off the leg wide. Puck to the side of the net, goes back to the goal. And it's cleared on the glass, but not out. Good play made there by Petrie to keep it in. Where is it? It's on the dasher board. And then it becomes a glove pass.
Oh my goodness.
Sat there.
Both of them were looking for it. You got it? No, I got it.
Well, there it is. It just it jumps and it just sits.
There it is.
Right on the side. How many times do you see that? The boys are saying, where is it? Where the heck is it?
It's in your equipment. I got it, you take it. Goaltender Dubnyk back into the goal with the face-off outside the line. It's on the dasher board.
We have another fight.
And then it becomes a glove pass.
A fight. Here in game 5. Leafs, Oilers, and the Stanley Cup.
You got it, no, I got it.
And the Oilers in their first fight here in the playoffs.
The boys are saying, where is it? Where the heck is it? Jackhammers and they go to the ice. Well, Patty really trying to prove himself after Patty really trying to prove himself after he was a healthy stretch in the game in Detroit. They'll go to the box. In a heated scrap here in Edmonton. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on the bottom.
You got it, no, I got it.
Jackhammers and they go to the ice. Patty really trying to prove himself after he was a healthy scratch in the game in Detroit. They'll go to the box. He got it right here in Edmonton. On the mound. Just sit this on the side. You see that? The boys are saying, where is it? Where the heck is it?
goal of the Leafs. Remains from the first place. He came into the league in 95. How many times do you see that before? You're saying, where is it? Most recently, the form had a pass, but all players that have got it since last season.
I got it. You take it.
Could ask why he just
Goaltender
doesn't get a
Dubnyk
move
back
there,
into
but
the goal with the face-off outside the line.
Stupid question.
I got it. You take it. Goaltender Dubnyk back into the goal with the face-off.
Boys are saying, where is it? Where is it?
He's in Europe. I got it. You take it. Goaltender Dubnyk back into the goal with the face-off outside the line.
How many times do you see that, though? You get stacked up penalty kills over the next goal.
Expert tackle early here is a week after the All-Star break. So the Leafs and Hopkins has a second NHL goal. Here on the power play tonight to tie it at 1. I got it. You take it. Goaltender lowers control. Hall gets it in, and Dubnyk to the bench for the extra attacker again. On the glass and around the boards, but not out. And then chipped on the wall, but not cleared. Hall with a long shot that's wide of the net. Far side now for Gagne. Back to the blue line, just kept in by Taylor Hall, who got over there. Into the corner, it goes to the side of the net, puts it front. And the Leafs will gather it up. And it's launched to center ice by Clark McCarthy. Grabowski unable to get to it. But McCarthy didn't want a chance. A shot at the net, and then produce an icing. Back down into the Toronto zone it goes. Gagne back to the net. Everly can't get to it. Grabowski can't play it along for MacArthur. Back to the point it goes. Petrie, near side Hall. Hall gets it back to the blue line. Petrie's shot is wide, and it deflected wide off a foot. Leafs unable to get it freed up. Now they do. Clark MacArthur saucers it ahead, but again out of the reach. MacArthur can give it a whack now, but unable to get it towards the goal. Off a skate and down into the Toronto zone. No icing. Pushes it along the boards and into the near corner. Gets in there after it as well. Snapped it ahead for the Leafs to Gasol. Scores! Down into the foul, but unable to get it towards the goal. Off a skate and down into the Toronto zone. No icing. Pushes it along the boards and into the near corner. Gets in there after it as well. Snapped it ahead for... After Kessel ices this with his 29th of the season and second goal of the hockey game. Miles plays it high. Phaneuf getting assists on the goal. Phil Kessel second. His 20th was Ryan Smith. 10 seconds.
One of the things you talked about, Joe, at the start of the year is the Leafs' home record had to be better. Well, that makes it now 16-4 at home, and tonight. That's better. Much better.
And for the third time here in the series, the Leafs are heading for overtime. 20 minutes sudden death.
Today they are 16-8. Last 5-3. Coming up, Leafs in a bit of a scoring fest here.
Not
leading
scored
5-3.
in the first period, second
Leafs in
period,
a bit of a
and
scoring
third
fest
period.
here. Hockey Central coming up. Leafs in a bit of the horn ends the period. Hockey Central coming up. Leafs in a bit of a scoring ends the period. Hockey Central coming up. Leafs in a bit of a scoring fest here, leading 5-3. Insurance 5-3 lead. Come back to the Air Canada Center where the Maple Leafs have a... Welcome back to the Air Canada Center where the Maple Leafs have a 5-3. Finishing off the scoring with his 21st of the year at 16:54. We're down to ice level now and join Scott Moore. 21st of the year at 16:50.
Coming in was to get Phaneuf and Gunnarsson out as often recent weeks as Scott Gordon, the assistant coach, told me came from mistakes they hadn't been making in recent weeks as a team. So they like that matchup and will continue forward in the third period with it. And you guys mentioned earlier about the 28 scouts this year tonight. An unofficial Air Canada Center record. They represent 23 teams. The countdown is on. 3 weeks to trade deadline day. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Scotty, and Garth Malarchuk and the rest of the Leaf scouting crew. A lot of them in town as well, so they've added to that list of scouts that are in attendance. They all do such a great job.
Ryan
The
Smith,
Leafs have a 5-3 lead heading into the third period. Jordan Everly has the scouts that are in attendance. They all do such a great job.
Paul, Beverly,
The Leafs have a 5-3
on the ice for overtime.
lead heading into the third period. Jordan
Heading for the fourth
He's
period.
been the best Oiler for me tonight in this game. And what a creative kid, a little give and go. It ended up in a goal behind the net, and then early in the game here when Paul threw it towards the net and Everly opened the scoring for the Edmonton Oilers in the first period.
And they have officially changed the Horcock goal to Petrie getting it.
An Oilers
second of the year. As you saw reading the lips.
And we have an overtime period.
Touch that one. Oh, there were guys in your area, though, and your area that used to rush across the ice and point at themselves.
Overtime period.
Not many. Once in a while. Larry, Curly, and Mo give me a little shot again.
Here we go.
Always like Jen was the boss.
Well deserved. You know, you make one mistake early and, oh boy, they jumped you, don't they?
Speed in on the wing with a sharp angle shot, stopped by Reimer. And Bozak turns up ice with a lead pass for Lupel. He's got Kessel trailing on the play, but he carries on. He's in a goal! And that was stopped by Dubnyk. What a great chance that was for Joffrey
seconds in
Lupel.
overtime.
The issue for the Edmonton Oilers tonight is the Maple Leafs have been able to twist and turn and get lots of room through the neutral zone as they get the bench to forward for the Oilers. If it's way too big, and when you're playing against a speedball team like the Maple Leafs, look here, Lupel just walks right through two players and gets an excellent chance on Dubnyk again.
Everly on the right wing side, drops it back. Corey Potter gets it to center. He's got Kessel trailing on the play, but he carries on. He's in a goal!
And a tripping call against Toronto.
We've seen this a lot tonight. Grabowski just turns it up and just takes the puck right to the net. And Dubnyk here with the poke check that almost didn't work. Just bad enough of it. This almost just went right to the net.
2 minutes. Oh, he's taking it.
And seen this a lot lately. We've seen this a lot tonight.
Boy, Ryan Smith will be the last guy on the ice you'd expect to turn a puck over in neutral ice. Can't do that against the Sedins. Here's the opening face-off. Much said about Nugent Hopkins' inability to win draws. He rips the first one away from Cody Hodgson, and that patented Ballard hit almost didn't work. But if he goes a little too low, gets him in hot water. But a perfectly executed run down the right wing boards there.
Absolutely right. And Nugent Hopkins, as you mentioned, was one bit knocked out of his hands. There's Bieksa, shot right off.
YouTube video player group.
Happy to win draws. He rips the first one away from Cody Hodgson. And that patented Ballard hit check. But if it goes a little too low,
right to the net. And Dubnyk here with the poke check that almost didn't work. Just bad enough of it. This almost just went right in.
Almost knocked it in with his goal stick when he came back over a cross. Steckel has the stick knocked out of his hands. Brought out now by the Oilers. Sent back into the Edmonton zone. Then brought in over the line. Breaking in. A goal shot. Oh, what a save made by Reimer. Van Eager cutting across. And Reimer got the right glove in front of that. And the blocking glove and the paddle of the stick makes the save. Smeed into the corner. Speed trying to center. That comes in front of him. Another shot. Stopped by Reimer. There's a rebound. Where's the puck?
I think Shen just saved the goal behind. There he
did. He did.
by the corner. Speed trying to center. That comes in front of the no shot. Stop it.
Alex Shen just saved the goal.
He's looking for his ninth in the playoffs.
A couple of big saves by Reimer. One on Ben Eager moments before this. And here's the second one. He gets a piece of it. Ball, the bouncing puck. And look at Luke Shen. Knocks it into his goalie and then lies down on the goal line. And here's Eager coming to the net. And Reimer's going to get his blocker on this there. As Eager beats Luke Shen to the net. What a save. What a save. As the goalies have been active tonight. They've given up a lot of goals. They've had to make some pretty good saves also.
Shen and Gardner combined +5 tonight, each +10 for the season for those two young defensemen.
What a save. What a save. As the goalies have been active tonight. They've given up a lot of goals, but they've had to make some pretty good saves also.
Shen and Gardner combined +5 tonight, each +10 for the season for those two young defensemen.
Speed trying to center. That comes in front of the no shot.
What a save!
Alex Shen just saved the goal. Alex Shen just saved the goal.
What a battle.
Big saves by Reimer. One on Ben Eager moments before this. Gets a piece of the ball.
Twice they were able to challenge Ronaldo from sharp angles. And the first bid looked like it was more problematic than this one on a little spin-around grand play. Here's Smith, one of the best from that position to the front of the net, or tipping pucks in front. Able to use Luongo on it from sharp angles. And the first bid looked like it was more problematic than this one on a little spin-around grand play. Here's Smith, one of the best from that position to the front of the net, or tipping pucks in front. Couldn't use Luongo on it.
Gets a piece of the ball, the bouncing puck.
Been a good start, I think, from what the Canucks would like to do. You got to think they want to play a solid team down in over the line.
Puck bounces back to the blue line. Fed over on the near side again. Long shot is off the mark line. Smith trying to get to his head. Oilers keep it in with Whitney on the left wing, half boards, trying to find him in. Plays it back to the net for Smith, that got by him. Kept it at the point by Potter. And then cut off by Cody Franson. Freed up by Lupel and Lyles. Launches a big back play in the center of the Kessel's line.
It's ball game.
Back at center ice for Gardner.
8-2-1. 7-2-1.
Sent into the corner again. Put up a line to get to it. Dancing put up working on him. Carries into the corner. Chased by Carl Gunnarsson. Back to the point it goes. Parker unable to get it in quick, and now here's Everly with a pass in front, and rolling off his stick was Gilbert, who had a great scoring touch as a centering pass there, and down is Reimer to knock it away. You know, under siege here, plays it to the line, but not out. Right back in again, here's a chance in front of the goal, and Canuck got there just in the nick of time to knock down Hall. Change is coming for both teams. Big siege there by the Oilers, and Hall took too much time to either make up his mind to make a pass or take it to the front of the net.
And I think both players there ended up getting shaken up a little bit as Benoit's bent over on the bench. Maybe it's just equipment. We'll find out in a second.
This period brought to you by Chevrolet, driving our world forward. This overtime period brought to you by Chevrolet, driving our world forward.
With all of the giveaways, there's still just 27 shots by the Oilers.
Deja vu there, isn't it?
Yes.
He's been there before.
Shot, stop, rebound.
Oilers.
Right with the goal. The rebound comes in front. And Gardner's able to get it away.
Never get to the second overtime. 11 games. No.
James Reimer faced 49 shots
95 on the
in Ottawa and with the shutout, and the previous high was 47 by Mike Palmatier in 1977. Most shots against the Leaf goaltender registering a shutout. Right to the left of Reimer.
That's 54 shots. They're in game 5.
And it is controlled by...
Hospital shirt page every day. New notification from Tom Pianis.ca and error 406 update 50.
And it is controlled by Toronto and played into the left wing corner. Chipped ahead for Conley, and he gets it out into the center ice area, courtesy Matthew Lombardi. Grab into the forecheck. Conley as well. Played to the line and out. Lyles sends it high into the zone. Gobbled up there and brought on by the Oilers, but unable to make a play with it was Ben Eager. Cody Francis. Bank pass is deflected by Armstrong down into the Oiler end. Steckel got a piece of his man. Brought out now by Jeff Petrie. Under the wing for Hensky that didn't work, and Armstrong will knife it down into the Oilers zone again. Back to the net. Brown, Steckel. Brown with it again. Unable to make a play into the corner for an awaiting centerman and David Steckel. And now up the middle it comes for Nugent Hopkins, and onto the wing it goes for Hensky. A right wing feed now for Potter. On a shot wide of the goal. Whitney trying to keep it in and does. Smith in the corner against Cody Francis. Steckel in there trying to help out. Smith gets it freed up. Alex Hensky trying to come out of the corner. Brown got a piece of his man. And it is sped around the boards by Lyles, but not out. Maintained by Potter. Jammed in there is Lyles. Armstrong finally gets to it and is able to chip it out into the center ice area. Gagne, as both teams are changing, sends it back into the Oiler end. Right wing feed sends Gagne back into the Toronto zone. Spun around on the play, hit by Lyles. Benook with the loose puck up on the wing for Lupo, and Lupo with a long left wing feed. Launched by Petrie, ends up way up into the screen. And
it's created quite a conversation about helmets. Oh man, I mean Taylor Hall in this play, and it's created quite a conversation about helmets and warm-ups, of course. And that was just an awful incident.
Corey Potter stepping on his head, and there is the end result.
It's a warm-ups. I mean Taylor Hall in this play, and it's created quite a conversation about helmets and warm-ups, of course. And that was just an awful incident.
Corey Potter stepping on his head, and there is the end result.
And Taylor Hall, I mean, he only missed a game, if you can imagine. And I love the way this kid plays. He's a future. And that was just an awful incident. Helmets and warm-ups, of course. And that was just an awful incident.
Corey Potter stepping on his head, and there is the end result.
And Taylor Hall, I mean, he only missed a game, if you can imagine. And I love the way this kid plays. He's a gamer, and what a skill set he has. A terrific skater with power.
It was so reminiscent of the song you mentioned. I know that the game was being played at the time the song got stepped on in the goal by Gerard Gallant, and yet he left immediately. This song you mentioned, I know that the game was being played at the time the song got stepped on in the goal. He left off the ice. He didn't realize at times why he had gone or what the injury, how severe it was. It was over 200 stitches. It's a famous one. The aftermath.
While we're on the topic, a tough day for coaches too. You got Tom Rennie not in the game tonight because he got hit with a puck this morning, and Andy Ruff got run over in practice. And
here's Bozak with a chance in front. Down is Dubnyk, and it just went wide.
Andy Ruff broken ribs. They say he's going to be okay. He got completely run over today as well. And
Leafs flip it ahead. Brought in over the line by Lupo, but squeezed to the boards, and it's down into the Edmonton zone.
I can't believe Doug McLean never got run over. He couldn't even skate in front of that line.
There you go, adds fuel to the fire. Hall with the drive, and it's whistled over top of the goal.
I couldn't read this. You have to have the last word, in the third period.
Just when we thought you guys were getting along.
And an offside at the blue line. Onto the net. Never mind not being able to play. He couldn't skate.
The worst skater I ever watched, for me, as a coach, I had was the late Roger Wilson. Oh, Roger had trouble getting around as well,
Hey, you guys, you got to listen to Tim and Sid Monday to Friday on Sportsnet, the Fan 590, or listen online at sportsnet.ca from 1 to 4 Monday to Friday. But Tim has lost on his head. Well, Sid's more than beat up in terms of the eyebrowage, and these guys have got a couple of personalities, and they've got some opinions, and on the odd occasion, they kind of agree. But they're big fans of our show, and of course, we're big fans of their show Monday to Friday.
Tyler Bozak with his 10th goal of the season. One of the 5 the Leafs have scored. His 31st point. He had 32 all of last year.
Lost game 5.
Round on the boards off
That was the last game 5.
Gobbled up by Toronto.
That was against the Lightning.
Center by Crabbe to Lombardi. Back to Joey Crabbe in over the line. Crabbe with a shot. Glove save.
Shot!
And it will be held for a block in the corner zone. 11:08 to play in the third.
Now 3 shots again by Reimer, but he's kicked some rebounds out, but I've liked his movement tonight. There's been a lot of traffic. This is a difficult team to play against the Edmonton Oilers because they're very creative. There's an excellent save on Eager in the third period, and Shen helped out the cause a little bit here in the third period also as he saved a goal. Thanks a lot, Ethan.
And got to thank you, Pat, for his efforts.
In the third period.
Oilers control the face-off and bring it out with a pass ahead, deflected in by Hall. Oilers turning it over and getting it back. Hall again has it turned over that time as he had it knocked off. Edmonton 15-8-3 on home ice. They've won 3 of their last 20 on the road. Canuck loses it. His shot goes off the leg as more Leafs were screwing in front of the net. Blocking shots. Grabowski sends it off the glove of MacArthur, and MacArthur sends it down into the Edmonton zone to get a change going. Not been a power play here tonight. The Leafs have had 3 games where they've not allowed a power play, but there haven't been any penalties here tonight.
Notification from Hockey Leagues. Someone expected to see the 8-5-2. League and the Maple Leafs the 5th.
The Oilers as well, Greg, the 6th most penalized team in the National Hockey League. The Leafs having least in that group back up the other way.
So icing charge here, and it's coming right back into the Edmonton zone. And the thing about penalty killing is you don't have to be real good at it if you don't take very many. This is really quite a statistic.
It's a remarkable stat, really, that they've been able to stay out of the box and keep their sticks down and not get some hooks and holes. It's incredible throughout the course of the game.
And 2.5 less power plays per game.
Turnabout as the Gons get set to go back to one.
Sorry, before the...
this is really close.
Another save by Devin Gilbert.
They've been able to stay out of the box.
It's been a spirited start and a speedy one from the Oilers on their attack. Smith and Luongo with a word to one another in the tail end of all that. Twice they were able to challenge
Notification from hockeyleagues.ca.in. Critical virus alert. Appears to remove antivirus. By Microsoft
Edge. Like it was more
Actions.
problematic
1 of 1
than this one on the little spinorama brand play. Chris Smith, one of the best from that position to the front of the net, or tipping pucks in front. Couldn't lose Luongo. Been a good start, I think, from the defensive line. Solid team, more problematic than this one.
6 slider, 1 hour, 25 minutes, 4 seconds, 1 hour, 40 minutes, 54 seconds. 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 25 minutes, 1 hour. 1 hour, 25 minutes, 16 seconds of 1 hour, 1 hour, 25 minutes, 6 seconds, 1 hour, 1 hour, 25 minutes.
Sorry, before the... in the second period, rather, it is an interesting topic.
Notification from hockeyleagues.ca.in. Error 406. Email your prediction.
Tonight I'm looking at him tonight, boy, it'd be a tough thing to do, trade Sam Danley. This kid's a real good hockey.
Right up on the wings, Zach. A lead pass. Kessel had to slow up in order to get it, and then shot it just wide.
Kid's a real...
He had to hold the blue line until the puck got there. If it had gotten to him quicker, he was in alone.
The only way the Oilers make that trade is, Doug McLean mentioned it, they get a real strong, good, young defenseman. The only way they can do it.
Back at the point is Gardner, dished off for Conley. Conley sending it down into the corner now for Lupel. Lupel and Kessel back of the net. It's flipped out in front of the goal and shot by Conley just wide. Leads to the net. It's flipped out in front of the goal.
What a goal! Critical.
Leads in the midst of a
And a save by Rama.
Exhausted Phil Kessel's heading to the interesting to see the way this team is playing and the chemistry that they have developed. You may get the feeling as you go along that less is going to be done rather than something large.
Penalized team in the National Hockey League.
I would never say.
Least in that group back up the other
By
way.
Dupin. Another icing call with 9:51 left in overtime.
Break up that rest for the Edmonton Oilers. They're going to look at what so far has been a dry Oilers power play. They worked on it this morning. Didn't have any penalty killers against it, but it was pretty obvious what they wanted to do. Simple, double net.
You know the thing about coming right back into the Edmonton, any off the glove of Carter. Here tonight, been any penalty team.
Least in that group back up the other way.
Defenders to that. Well, Roberto Luongo with a couple of saves to his left, and then a real snappy one on this wrist rush by Bayardi. What a lovely little pass to send him in on a tough angle. He drew two defenders to that and zing. They use speed as an asset on both sides of their special teams here in Edmonton. Couple saves to his left, and then a real snappy one on this wrist rush by Bayardi. Angle, he drew two defenders to that and zing. They use
1 hour 25 minutes 11 seconds.
both sides of their special teams here in
1 hour.
Cranston got the puck through again. The Oilers are going to have to wait for teammates to get on side. Gagne trying to snap it ahead, does to Everly. Everly saucered it in, cleared to the line but not out. Kept alive by Gilbert. Gilbert gets it back to the point to Everly looking. Whoa, another post. The bells of St. Mary's are going off. This has been a wild one, and Everly comes with an iron. To hear it.
Cranston, and then Everly almost gets the hat trick, and there is Joey Craven, a nice shot from Cranston, and then Everly almost gets the hat trick, and there by Joey Craven. It's just been such an open folds of the tip by Joey Craven, a nice shot from Cranston, and then Everly almost gets the he had that field. Traffic in front of him.
Always nice to hear it.
A nice sound. Often you heard it, though, and if you heard the crowd after it, you knew you were in trouble.
That's right.
Especially when you're on. Often you heard it, though, and if you heard the crowd after it, you knew you were in trouble.
That's right.
Especially when you're on the road and you had that feeling. James Reimer saw that one. There was a ton of traffic in front of him.
Always nice to hear it.
Cranston, and then Everly almost gets the hat trick, and there is absolutely no way that James Reimer saw that one, as there was a ton of traffic in front of him.
Always nice to hear it.
A nice sound. Often you heard it, though, and if you heard the crowd after it, you knew you were in trouble.
That's right.
Especially when you're on the road and you have that feeling.
Mark McCarthy will launch it down into the Edmonton zone.
The Oilers.
Fooling him with a little head fake to gain the area back of the net centers. Back in from
the
McCarthy.
playoffs.
Bounces in front. Dubnik has scooped that up
For overtime.
and is going to hold on.
More time.
You know, the forgotten man on this line a little bit is Kuhlman. Yes, he has not been producing the way the Leafs would like him to produce this year, but he does a lot of nice little things for you on the ice defensively. And often he'll be the first player with the puck on the line to make that key play to get out of the zone, or that little chip just inside the offensive blue line. And quietly, he's starting to get his game back a little bit more in the second half of the year, producing the way the Leafs would like him to produce this year. But he does a lot of nice little things for you on the ice defensively, and often he'll be the first player with the puck on the line to make that key play to get out of the zone, or that little chip just inside the offensive blue line. And watch the Leafs would like him to produce this year, but he does a lot of nice little things in producing the way the Leafs would like him to produce this year. But he does a lot of nice little things for you on the ice defensively, and often he'll be the first player with the puck on the line to make that key play to get out of the zone, or that little chip just inside the offensive blue line. And quietly, he's starting to get his game back a little bit more in the second half of the year.
30-goal scorer a year ago, just 5 thus
Sam
far this season.
Ryan Hopkins
And he has had the
scored only 1 goal in overtime in Game 7.
He was pushing down the boards there was Armstrong. Brown brings it in a little deeper, and now there's Steckel around back of the net. David Steckel back for Armstrong. He eludes one. Armstrong coming out in front of the backhand. And that ramped up off the stick of Brian Whitney into the screen and out of play. And then Brown gives Whitney a bit of a shot on the way by, and Armstrong will get a word in there as well.
It's going to be tough for Armstrong for a while, and I don't think we should expect too much from him. When you miss this much time the last couple of seasons, and you have to play catch-up with just over 30 games to go, that's tough. That's really tough to do, and it's going to take him some time. He's not an overly quick player to begin with, and it's going to take him some time to really get his game back. And he's the kind of player that the Leafs all physically create some, draw some penalties, and so he may be a valuable player before this is all over. But again, it won't happen overnight, I don't think, based on the injury.
Sam Gagner
on the 30-goal plateau again. Pass up on the right-wing side for Jones.
They'll look for an overtime hero.
The line there was
Sam Gagner.
Ryan Smith.
Let's hear Sam Gagner just went up the net.
We talked about Joe at the start of the year.
6 minutes left to go in the overtime. Here is Gagner with a 7-point night.
Much better.
Gagner went up the net. Shoots. He scores! Sam Gagner wins the Game 5!
Last year,
that's better. Much better.
The Leafs and the Oilers.
Last year,
that's better. Much better.
Last
The
year,
Oilers.
That's better. Much better.
Are 2 and 1
last year,
when
they
winning in
were
over.
18-14.
The Leafs are 2 and 1.
Last year, they
That's
when
better.
winning to
Much better.
overtime.
And 8-4 at home. That's better.
That's the end result.
Last
1-0
year they were
the final.
18-14 and 8 at home. Today they are 16-8 and 8 at
goal
home.
for the
Today
postseason.
they are
And
16-8
goal
and 4
point.
on home ice.
Home ice.
And the points well made. And here's a
for
look
the
at
Oilers.
the Eastern
Set
Conference
for Game
standings
6.
as the Maple Leafs fall
Maple
over
Leafs.
the Ottawa at the Eastern Conference standings.
Are they going to
as the Maple Leafs fall over the
eliminate the
Ottawa
series
Senators
and
with
heading for the conference finals?
and still 2 games in hand on the Senators.
to
Look
2.
at our Molson 3 stars.
That's what
Mikhail
the Leafs
Grabowski.
are winning.
Star number 1, Jordan Everly with a pair of apiece. As James Reimer wins his 3rd straight. It's not a
Devin
shutout, 3
Dubnyk
shots
with his
apiece.
first playoff
James
shutout.
Reimer wins his game. Not a shutout,
And it's
but
a
it's
1-0
W.
victory.
Let's go to Connect.